And good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Football Park here in Adelaide for the 1993 preliminary final between Port Adelaide and Norwood. Joining us is a former Norwood champion, Neville Roberts. 26 degrees, Neville. Perfect conditions, a good crowd. How's that temperature going to affect the players?
Probably not that significant, Mark. They both played finals last week, same day. They've had the same time to recover, and both would have been prepared for this weather today. So I don't think it's really an important factor.
Norwood have won the toss. They're kicking to the northern end of the ground. The breeze factor?
Oh, well, it's in a final, it always means something, maybe a goal or two if they can get a break, but another one of those minor things, not significant.
Now, there's some marvellous matchups, some key matchups. Tyler is one of them. What about the significance of Tyler this week?
Well, he's only kicked 3 goals in 2 finals, and he's been sadly out of form. I guess the focus in that first final was Scotty Hodges, who, if you remember, kicked 6 in the first quarter, 9 for the day. And I think Tyler just felt like he wasn't part of the deal. And last week, maybe in the nervous 90s, waiting to get close to 100, kicked nothing. They only had 4 single goal kickers, so he's important. And that matchup between Hodges and Tyler, if it works, it could be quite significant today.
Now, what about Darren Smith? Poor last week. How important is it that he fires?
Well, I'm a fan of Darren Smith. He's always played well in finals. He gets up the ground, he makes space, he sacrifices his game, he does the little things, shepherds. He might not get a lot of touches, but when Port Adelaide win, it's usually because Darren Smith's played his role. So he's very important, and I think today, after last week, the culture of Port Adelaide will come good, and players like Darren Smith will take the responsibility to perform.
Cale said, as we look at Kelly now, he's an important one, isn't he, in the centre?
He's had problems with the flu this week, and he's been a player that, whilst unobtrusive, has played a really important role for Norwood this year. He's a ball getter, he carries it over a line, he delivers it well, and he's a very tough centreman, hard-hitting, like McIntosh, and he will certainly break up the packs for Norwood.
Cale said during the week that Port will win because they've played more finals. Do you buy that?
Oh, it's just a strategy, a bit of propaganda during the week. It might work for him.
OK. So there's Neil Craig. He would be nervous. I spoke to him yesterday. He was nervous. He's expecting big things today. Stephen Trigg takes up the call, the prelim final, Port Norwood.
Umpire Richard Williams just making sure that both captains are ready for the outing. Port Adelaide, for their part, the same 20 that they named. Rosonico and Cockatoo Collins have gone to the bench. For Norwood, it's David Burns and Craig Barham. Umpire Richard Williams holds it up and says, let's get things cracking in the preliminary final for 93. A big roar goes up around the stadium, and the ground looks in perfect condition. From the right of screen is Thompson, from the left is Chalmers. Chalmers gets it to Brown. The first exit is to Port Adelaide. Borlase, I think it was, at half forward. Burns comes through from half back. The umpire calls play on. Burton does very well. He'll need a one take, does so very well. Where's Ginnivan? Can't take it. In there working hard is Patterson. Now Norwood will make an entry through the player in Christian O'Brien. He thumps it very, very long into the full forward line. Delaney the spoil. Norwood breed at best off hands. Or the pace of this game early, it's bound to be very, very swift. In there is Lyle. Big pack of players. And the first bounce down for the game.
Yes, you'd always expect it, wouldn't you? A Port Norwood clash. It'll be body tough. It'll be fierce. There'll be a lot of strategies early in the game, and the personality clashes will be just as important as the body clashes. Off they go. But at half-back, northeast, a stalwart, tough defender for the Maggies gets the free kick. He's an unorthodox looking kick, but boy, oh boy, he can play like mad, and he's got a heart as big as this ground. Up they go, Burton to ground, couldn't quite take it. A chance for Bond. He's quick. They can't catch him when he's standing still. He turns it back towards the centre of the ground. Nearly a big catch. The Red Leagues. Robrin can't quite make it. Smart's in there. He finally gets it. Goes over half forward. Puts it in. Watch Delaney at the back. He gets the punch. Ducker. Rowe. He was plagued with leg injuries during the week. He looks all right to me at the moment, though. Back to Smart. Left foot kick. In high. Prime. Punch. Where's the crummer? Delaney's caught. He's given it up to the Red Leagues. What a mistake. Offline, and Christian O'Brien opens the account.
Well, the Magpies will let off the hook. Christian O'Brien can do some very special things around the goals. And if he'd got Norwood away to a start there, it would have been just terrific for them. Looks like Paul Northeast is picking up O'Brien. Now, Norwood are going to use a zone. And Port Adelaide will need to work very hard to find some space. Phillips has done so and takes it at half-back.
Here's Phillips handing it back to his fullback Delaney, who clears. Not a particularly good kick. It goes, oh gee, this is Sir Julian Burton at half-back, and McIntosh has got him magnificently done by the veteran. Kicked off the ground, back to Kelly. A chance for Norwood to go into attack again. There's Kelly's kick. It is a long one. Ducker wrestling down there with Delaney, and also Phillips. A chance for Rowe. Already had a couple of touches. Here's big Chris Prime. Oh, don't tell me! He's kicked it! Absolutely magnificent. Great start, Norwood. 1-1. The Magpies yet to score.
Chris Prime has 81 goals for the season so far, and now make that 82. The interesting thing about him is that you'd expect with a frame like that he would be taking big, strong, body-to-body marks, but really his agility for a man of his size is something else. Just watch as he pulls it inside, plenty of poise, holds it up, the check side punt, Norwood first blood.
The Red Leagues 1-1-7 in the prelim final. The Maggies yet to score. They'd be nervous after last week's performance. Bond in the centre, he's caught, the body's tough, and the ground. Patterson, the free kick, the speedster. Didn't poll as well as he should have in the Magarey medal, in my opinion. Sends it to half forward. High from behind was Mead. Couldn't quite take it. The ground players are all Norwood. Prime over the top, and Christian O'Brien normally in defence.
It's a big leap from Mead, really. He was very lucky to get away with that. Should have gone the big thump.
Norwood a 1-1-7. The Magpies yet to score. We've played 3.5 minutes of the prelim final. It'll drift out of bounds. Stephen, I noticed Brown in the centre instead of the Williams.
This was Stephen Williams' form over the last couple of weeks has been a little poor by his own standards. And Brown is such an intrusive, incisive player into the forward lines. He's bound to be an important player.
Almost 4 minutes gone. Thompson and Chalmers. It'll be a critical matchup. Eames runs onto the bouncing ball. Coming at him is Lyle, who's playing his first game for a couple of weeks. Prime's got it. No, couldn't hold it. Juggled it out of bounds, left forward pocket.
And Eames lucky to be here today. He took a heavy knock last week, left the ground limping, and cruciate ligament was the word, but he looks pretty fit today. Delaney, the informed fullback. He takes his time, but he won't be rushed. Cool as a cucumber. Chalmers, the big ruckman they expect so much of today. Braden Lyle back in the side after injury. And Port Adelaide, they have Braden Lyle, number 9, back in the side. Shea, Cockatoo, Collins, Brown and Hodges. And
just to take up Mark Hastings' point a moment ago, Stephen Williams is in a forward pocket. Brett James is picking him up. And I'm sure that Stephen will rotate through with some followers like Borlays and Cockatoo Collins.
Umpire blows the whistle. There's a free kick. It's going the way of Anthony Eames. Gets the hand pass across to his skipper, McIntosh. McIntosh from 45 metres. Offline to the left-hand side, but only just. I noticed that Hodges and Tyler have got 2 opponents that have swapped over there. I noticed
Robin's now
yes,
picked up
Robin,
Tyler.
that's right, and Toombs on Hodges.
Well, I don't think there's much in it in terms of physical strength, so it's probably just a matter of Neil Craig's preference in terms of what he's seen before.
Yes, indeed, just balance. Burton wide, northeast, quick kick. And they've got some space if it sits. This is Foster. He's got a chance to have a look and give his forwards a chance. Oh, he butchered that kick. Not good enough from an experienced player. Shane Bond will get him out of stride. He'll give him another chance. He sends it forward. Tough body work. Now, Robert, not quick enough. Over the top of it, Tyler goes backwards. Geneva from 60 metres, puts it up high. Out in front, Borlays under it, couldn't take it. Beautifully spoiled. Free kick though, Tricky.
Well, the Port Adelaide fans stand as one. They enjoyed it. I was watching that live, and I just couldn't see that Jonathan Toombs was into the back. We're about to pick it up, though. Took a close look. Well, I think Scotty might have taken a bit of a dive there and got a lucky one from just 30 out.
Terrific effort by James, though, wasn't it?
Indeed it was, and a touchy free kick. Might be the break Port Adelaide need to just settle them down a little bit. They trail by 8 points. Hodges from 40. And that's why he is a champion. He's first. Port Adelaide, one they needed. It's a better start than they had last week.
Well, lucky free kick or otherwise, Scotty always makes you pay. We saw him here a couple of weeks ago against Glenelg, kicked 6 in the first quarter and finished with 9. And really did the damage. Well, in the end, if you just look at that, there was a hand over the shoulder. I think the umpire in the end paid it for hanging on. Either way, a free kick. And the Magpies square it up in terms of the goal kicking.
Yes, just 2 points in it. 6 3/4 minutes, first quarter. You're watching this on ABC Sport. We hope you're enjoying it. I'm sure you are. It should be a big, big game, this one. They've had some marvellous duels in the past. We're expecting some big ones today. McIntosh is a man who rises to the occasion. They've got him, though, about 80 metres out from the Norwood goal.
He goes out of his way for a body macker, doesn't he?
Sure does.
He'd rather run into someone and have a hot lunch. Have a look at him.
I can remember Neil Curley talking about him during a state game, saying he eats bricks, works in some odd spot and eats bricks. He's a tough character. Here's Borlase, gets underneath it, takes a good mark. Robinson, the man who stands the mark. Here goes Borlase, good kick towards centre half. Oh, Hodges in front. Chance for Bond now. Got a big opportunity, this brilliant young man. Gets caught though, short kick, and it's War. That's going to be 50 almost. James has taken the mark. He was taken high as well, and he's going to get 50 metres.
We just had a look at Jonathan Toombs give away a free kick a moment ago on Hodges. But you mentioned before about the matchup, Hodges and Toombs and Robert and so forth. There's the free. I really think that Jonathan Toombs is the man for that job, and all things being equal, should do a good job.
Scott Burns kicks towards centre half forward. Good destroy there by North East. Here's Bond. Got it from Ginniver. The two small men combining magnificently. And a big mark taken by Darren Smith. He needs to live from last week. This could be a big confidence booster for him. It's a terrific kick. A magnificent goal by Port Adelaide, and Darren Smith his first.
Crowd applause says it all. Smith, a good strong mark. He just got the edge on his opponent there in Modra, gave himself a break of some 5 metres. Modra couldn't pick it up, and Smith, who as Mark mentioned just a moment ago, punches the air triumphantly, had a really dog day last week, and well, we were amazed that he drew the displeasure of his own crowd. He's been such a wonderful campaigner over many years, and I'm sure that he's going to be a big-time player today.
Good crowd. And the SANFL happy with that. The weather, fantastic. The game of beauty already. Port Adelaide, 12 points. The Maggies, 8. They trail by 4 points, Norwood. And away they go through Foster. Beautifully put, beautifully led. And a better start for Mark Tyler.
Different side this week, Neville.
Aren't they just? They just out of the blocks. They look more enthusiastic. Obviously, a lot of voice on the track this week.
Just that extra little bit of potency with Hodges up there, giving them the 2 options.
Oh, it's just a confidence booster. The midfield players have got plenty to look for. This guy in particular, he's got 90 goals for the season. He leads the SANFL goal-kicking list. Offline to the left that time. But that fork of players up there, Hodges and Tyler, the other end of the ground, we've got Prime and Ducker, and it might just be those combinations that decide who wins or loses.
2-1 to 1-2. The Magpies lead 13-8. Ball at centre wing. A chance now for Modra. Sweeps the hand pass to Eames, who's got to. He did magnificently there. He got away from Ginniver. Superb piece of work. Kicks well inside 50. Back there is Mead. Got a hand to it. So too to Delaney. Down there also is Patterson. They've got him. They're wrapping it up. It comes to the side, and well done as Mead feeds it out. And now they've got a big chance to build here. Julian Burton from half-back.
He puts it to centre wing. Underneath it, Shane Bond. But the Red Legs hit. Badly put. Rowe goes in. Holding the ball. They want him. They've got him too.
It's a great tackle, Neville. And it's one of the things that Rowan Smith must do more of, particularly if he's going to have a quiet day. He's got to work hard, keep the ball in his area, and tackle strong as he did there. Stephen Rowe, no chance at all.
And Rowan Smith really hasn't done enough. Hasn't kicked a goal in the final series this season. And been very quiet. Modra, James to Pitt. Oh, he's gone back into trouble. Lucky to get out of it. Holding the ball, they've lost the footy. And the Maggies, so both sides operating pretty well in traffic.
Big confidence boosters, those two holding the balls, weren't they, Neville?
Oh, they are. When you're running free with the footy, you give it back to the opposition. It really does kick your tail.
And a good couple of tackles early in the game sets the pattern for the rest of the players for the day. And at Port Adelaide, I was down in the rooms beforehand. It's a real mood of confidence down there, and one that's a bit nasty as well. They're keen to do well.
David Brown back in the Port Adelaide lineup from the Crows. He puts it towards centre half forward. Tanner puts it out towards Robertson. He's got the sit in front of North East. High and long to half forward. It's into space. The bounce will tell. The Maggies are there. Lyle and Mead. They work it out brilliantly, and short to North East. He covered a mile North East there to get back. They're linking up beautifully. They've got the run. Foster. He takes on Robertson and beats him. Left-footed to half-forward underneath it. Bond, Shane Bond.
Oh, Hodges is miles free.
Everywhere he goes. Short, Hodges, turn around, do it easily. Ginniver, goal, the Maggies, 3-1. 19, Norwood, 1-2-8.
I wonder if Neil Craig sends the runner out. And if he does, it will be immediately to Jonathan Toombs, and it will say to Jonathan, this is not the time of game to be taking chances. Man up, and then later in the game, when we've got an opportunity, you will do it. Because Hodges was left 50 metres free from Toombs. Toombs took the risk. He was caught out when the ball turned over. It was just too easy, and they really hurt.
It was too loose. He does tend to be a little loose, doesn't he? Ginnivan bang straight through.
He just needs to tighten up right now.
3-1 to 1-2. The Magpies lead 19-8. We played 12 minutes of the prelim final. What a start. Is this the same Port Adelaide we saw last week? You wouldn't believe it. They've almost scored as many as they scored in 4 quarters last week, and we've only played early stages of the first quarter. Here's a chance for Reams. Got caught. Brown, who could be a big factor in this game. Now Modra. Magnificent smother, though, by Tim Ginnivan. Well done. In goes Modra again. Gets the hand pass. Over goes to Bond. Collided there with Thompson. Picked up by Burns. He's brought to the ground. Magnificent football.
We've played just on 12 and a half, nearly 13 minutes of this first term. And we're going to find out some of the Norwood players who can play today. They're a young side. They're a very exciting side. The Port Adelaide team at the moment is desperate. They're putting on all the tackles, working very hard on them. We're soon going to find out which of those Norwood lads can stand up to it.
Michael Thompson right in the thick of things, but it's Williams who tries to get clear. Rowan Smith now on his left boot, high and long. The Redlegs are there in numbers. Darren Smith got it through. 2 hides the call. Stephen.
Well, I couldn't see it, but we're about to get another look. And, well, it's just a bit hard to tell. Surprising, the umpires often will play free kicks early in the game just to establish some sort of control over it. But in front of goals, Port Adelaide have had a couple of lucky ones early.
Yes, I didn't see that at all, but Darren Smith won't care about that. He's 45 out. He'd love this. He's got one. How important is he to Port Adelaide? 2 already from centre-half forward. They take an early lead. Port Adelaide by 25-8.
Well, Darren Smith, of course, is being checked by Ben Modra. And the man on screen, Jonathan Robran, is picking up Tylor. Jonathan Toombs is at full-back on Scott Hodges. And if you consider the number of games that that trio of Redlegs would rack up compared to their Port Adelaide counterparts, they're going to learn a few things today, that's for sure.
Darren Smith, a factor here so far. Port Adelaide a 4-1, Norwood a 1-goal 2. The Magpies up onto their half-forward line, but turning it away is Kelly. Not a particularly good kick. I'm not sure what he was after there. He's only found Rowan Smith. Smith's kick into the forward line. A big chance for Port Adelaide again. Down there is Foster. Also Scott Burns. Burns in front. Well done. A teammate comes in to assist. Well done by Port Adelaide. They persisted. Rowan Smith's kick is not a particularly good one. It goes to James in the back pocket.
And Brett James, high on the hit list of AFL drafts. He goes long towards centre wing, puts it down. Tanner, quick to Patterson, is good. And the Redlegs are forward. They're over half forward, but coming out strong, getting met heavily. O'Brien on Lyle. Have a look at this.
This was a good tackle, and in the end it was Stephen Rowe that brought him down. Pretty much like holding the ball to me.
I think so. Long. And free kick again. This time it's the Redlegs.
That's better. Get themselves in front. Richard Foster, who was the man who had made the option, so far has had 4 kicks and 1 handball, and is really providing a bit of a headache for the Norwood side across half forward. Scott Burns is the player, needs to tighten up.
So Pitt puts it back towards half forward. Up goes Chalmers to ground. O'Brien gets it out. Patterson, he's caught, and it's tight traffic. Not a lot of options in there as Patterson drags himself to his feet. And a sun-bathed football park. Magnificent conditions for the preliminary final here in Adelaide.
16 minutes, first quarter. Big crowd. You're watching this on ABC Sport. Thompson wins the knock. Ducker outnumbered. Big Greg Phillips is there. Players fall over all over the place. One of them was Ducker. Here's Delaney, who's very useful early. Threads the hand pass to Foster, back to Delaney. That was very quick. The kick not particularly good. Now a chance for Brown, though. Julian Burton wheeling and dealing at half-back. Now northeast. He's lost it, though, the half-back flanker. Kelly having to get around Brown and does so. He's in the centre. Long bomb towards centre half forward. Ducker comes out. A good spoil from behind. Julian Burton now a chance for Troy Bond as he clears the zone looking for his brother Shane, and he finds him.
Norwood have made a change. Burns has gone to the player there in Shane Bond, and Stephen Pitt is now picking up the dangerous Richard Foster.
Free kick there. Must have been a free kick there. Out of bounds on the full.
So with the footy, Scotty Burns, he puts it back in long. The fierce pace of the final might tell late. Meet up early, prime around the body Will it stay in? Deep in the forward pocket. Rowe and Lyle, it stays in. Fortune for Norwood. Rowe from 20 metres around the body. Oh, lots of fortune. What about the bounce? Rowe is first. Norwood needed that one. They're 2-2-14. Port Adelaide 4-1.
Could be just the catalyst that Norwood need. Just the lucky break, as you say, Neville. Watch this. Bounce straight back, and poor old Braden Lyle in his first game back in the side for a couple of weeks just eluded him. He made the play, did pretty well to take a chance, attack the football. Bounce eluded him, and Stephen Rowe is deadly around the goals. A very, very important goal for Norwood.
Yes, and for Stephen, who's been under an injury cloud all week. 4-1, Port Adelaide. Norwood fight back to 2-2, and the margin 11 points. 17.5 minutes first quarter of the prelim final. Here's Tanner running onto it. Smith getting there first. Modric coming at him. Foster, well done. Not a particularly good kick. It went through Robertson's hands. This could be costly. Williams' hand pass was not a good one to Shane Bond. Put him under enormous duress. The Magpies try and work it away, but Norwood are very good. Well done by McIntosh. Now to Robinson in the centre square. A long kick inside 50. Down there is Duck. A terrific mark over the top taken by Braden Lyle.
Well, it was a fantastic mark. That ball really had some carry on it. It was travelling very quickly, and I thought it was going to be hard to mark for a forward. In the end, Lyle did it very, very well.
So Chalmers, he'll go down grandstand side, right in front of our commentary position. Up they go. McIntosh underneath. Oh, Smith.
Ross Leslie playing a ripper at the moment.
Oh, he's well and truly on top. He looked like Wayne Carey coming through there. Then have a look at the kick. Brown in space. 50 out. Can he kick it from there, Steve?
We certainly can, but he's elected to go the pass just over the head of Smith.
Oh, they've made a mess of this. Didn't need that. Eames now. Looking pretty fit after last week's mental injury. Darren Smith, he's everywhere. He's obsessed with getting to the footy at the moment.
Norwood a bit lucky because Brown chose the wrong option. One of the things that Norwood must be careful of, though, is that Richard Kelly likes to play the centre square area. He's a stay-at-home centreman, essentially. And if Brown, who's playing on him, starts to work up and down the ground, he's going to pick up a lot of touches.
Port Adelaide at 4-1, Norwood at 2-2. I just get the feeling too, Steve, while we've got a bit of time, that Darren Smith's trying to run Modra around a bit.
Well, no doubt about it, and I think he'd be a little G'd up, wouldn't you, after last week's dismal performance?
So the bounce down with Thompson winning it clearly. It goes to O'Brien. Was he held on to? The umpire didn't seem to think so. Kelly with a very quick kick. It's drifting back. It went over the head of everyone, but it was offline, and it's through from behind. It's 4-1 Port. Norwood at 2-3. It's 25-15.
I mentioned a moment ago about Kelly manning up on Brown, but for his part, Richard's doing pretty well early. He's got 4 kicks and has provided several attacks for the Norwood side. Just needs to work both ends of the ground.
And Foster and particularly Smith having a real influence on this game. A chance for O'Brien. 15 metres, bang, he goes to goal. And a wasted opportunity. Christian O'Brien in the thick of things.
Very exciting around goals is Christian O'Brien. He really likes to kick goals. You can see he's a little disappointed there. I think if he'd had opportunity, he also would have feigned a free kick there as well, but unfortunately there's no Port player around him that could lay a hand on him.
Back to 9 points. Delaney waiting for the football. Big crowd here at Football Park. You're watching this big game on ABC Sport. Roger Delaney, one of the best in the business. Short chip pass. He's not particularly good, and Richard Kelly climbs very high and knocks it down to Prime, who's caught. The umpire says play on. Not a good kick there by Delaney. Not the best option, was it?
It's Neil Baum's wife, Robin, having a look.
Enjoying the sunshine.
Our cameraman picked them all up.
I think Macca's feeling a bit sore there, incidentally. He just looks to be limping a little.
Well, he's certainly throwing his body in early in this game, and it'd be quite understandable. Nearly a throw. Russell even handball to Ginniver is good. The Maggies get away with it. Smith underneath it. Again, he's on a world tour. Gets it off to Bond. Ball A's. Look for Tyler. He's deep. Hodges across the top. What about that? Oh, dear me.
One of the members of the crowd just putting the lipstick on. No, there's no urgency there. Well, that's a great mark, Scotty, isn't it? He looked out of the contest. He sat back 15 to 20 metres and then took an almighty leap at it. I'm not saying he jumped 15 metres, but he really took off late. Now, he's got one so far. This one shouldn't be a problem.
Well, he started them brilliantly in the qualifying final. And with Smith, he's doing it again from 20 metres.
50 metres.
But he'll be paid the goal. Port by 31-16. Great start to Maggies. Hodges 2.
Well, real problems for Norwood early. a margin of 15 points, but it looks more ominous than that because those three young men that they have in those key defensive positions are going to be under all sorts of pressure. The man who has Hodges at the moment is Robin, but more damaging, as Mark Aston mentioned a moment ago, is Darren Smith, who looks electric at centre-half forward. And Ben Modra, you're going to have to wear him like a glove for the remainder of this quarter at least.
5-1 to 2-4. The Magpies lead 22 minutes, so we're 3 minutes away from time on in the first quarter of this very exciting preliminary final, which you're watching on ABC Sport. And Port Adelaide go into attack as if on cue. Well done by Ginnivan. A big chance for them. Here's Brown, 35 metres out. Bang! Straight through, do you mind? That is the Port Adelaide we're used to seeing.
Mark, at the risk of sounding repetitive, that ball exited centre square just so easily. Norwood have to, despite their level of relative inexperience, just man up all around the ground now and make something of it in terms of a physical contest. Try and close Port Adelaide down, because if they just try and keep playing their own game, Port Adelaide are going to take them to pieces.
So Port Adelaide, have a look at that. 6-1-37, only kicked 4 goals for the entire match last week. The Redlegs 2-4-16, but they're playing well, the Redlegs. The Maggies just superstar. So out of the centre, Stephen Rowe fears he wouldn't make the game. He dances around Brown, did it pretty well, and punches it straight to the opposition. That's not good enough from Stephen Rowe, senior player. Burton off to Lyle. The cool cat from centre wing, over he goes. And from behind, Borlase floated into his hands.
Had another problem. Borlase is getting on top as well.
So they're posing a threat for the Redlegs. Up they go in high. Tyler couldn't take it, in the back of his Norwood opponent in James. And to ground, a free kick.
Speaking of Borlase, he's too good a player to have too many outs or a run of outs. Named at interchange, certainly at half forward at the moment, a very valuable player.
There's Shane Bond again.
Here he is.
Beautifully done. Borlase, you picked it well, Stephen. Tyler, too low for him. They run it out. This is Modra, high towards centre wing, underneath it, and taking it pretty well was Smart. Eames, the runner. Now they're a chance, the Redlegs. Prime, keep an eye on him. Close to the boundary line, and Delaney, exactly where he wanted it.
It's Thompson there on cue, off of the ground, Craig Baum on. Give them a lift in terms of their aggression and spirit. Just going to mention one of the things that Norwood need to have today is Mark Ducker on song, because Chris Prime isn't going to be able to do it on his own. They need down their end of the ground, like Port Adelaide have got, a two-pronged attack.
Here's Rowe, 24.5 minutes first quarter. Rowe kicks to a more central location, and it's out of bounds on the full. Too much carry. So the Magpies, through Delaney or Mead, it'll be Delaney to put this ball back into play. You're watching this match on ABC Sport. The prelim final for 1993. The winner to go into the grand final next Saturday. And they'll play the Eagles. There's Delaney's kick. Up they go. Well done by Baum, who's now on the ground. O'Brien to Rowe, and it's out of bounds.
The tackling of Port Adelaide just remains so fierce, giving Norwood any time to get that normally calm and controlled reflex away. At the moment, they're under all sorts of pressure.
And McIntosh in the back of Phillips. So big Kuchi. He's had a sore rump for a couple of weeks, and he looks a bit fitter today. Last week he had the Holden seat strapped to his backside, and but this week, as I said, a bit fitter.
Camouflaged by the black shorts this week.
It is, isn't it? Yes, it was all colours last week, wasn't it? Chalmers to centre wing, up they go. Underneath it, oh, Pitt from the side, nearly. Modra caught. Unlucky not to have gotten that.
Just sense at the moment that Norwood are trying to be attacking, be creative, as was the case with the Stephen Pitt mark there, but really from 3 deep, he should have gone the punch and played the percentage.
I agree with that. Pfeiffer and Williams, the umpires today. Ginnivan, Kelly. Robertson tries to get through the pack. Ball absolutely amidst a pack of Port Norwood players. Now umpire bounce it again.
6-1 to 2-4. Big start here for the Magpies. 26 minutes, first quarter, preliminary final. Brown does the ruck work, knocks it down to Tim Ginnivan. Now Bond runs onto the football. A chance for him. This is Shane Bond. He's got to do some tackling, though. I think he might have done that illegally. Yes, he has. According to Richard Williams, Tanner didn't have the footy. Short passes on to Rowe, who has had some valuable touches. Long kick towards centre-half forward at the back as Delaney drops one. Perhaps he should have taken, although I may be a little bit harsh on him there, Steve. It did seem to fall short.
Certainly did. And we've focused fairly heavily on some of the key playmakers up forward for Port Adelaide. Norwood, for their part at the moment, well, I think they really need some of their on-ballers. That was Grant Tanner's first kick. He needs to do a little more for them. Macca, well, he's been slow starting in the last couple of weeks. Really need him to fire up very quickly as well. Here he is.
A chance to go offline, though, way offline. So we're 2 minutes into time on in the prelim final. The skipper, Macca, got one away, but way offline. The Red Leagues, 2-goal 4-16. They trail Port Adelaide 6-1-37. Norwood got to this final by defeating Central District in the elimination final, and then Glenelg in the first semi, Port over Glenelg in a qualifying, and then down to the Eagles. They've got it in their right the hard way through. The good thing for Norwood is, though, Mark, they going through from where they have, they'll always be playing teams that have lost, other than, of course, if they get through today, they play the Eagles.
It's a big test for them, isn't it? Yes, the grand final next week, by the way, live on ABC television in the state. If it is a sellout or if the league are happy to go live, we'll let you know a little bit later on during the week. We'll be going all around Australia from about 2:30.
He could nearly kick this, Mark, sorry to interrupt, from there. He's 50 out, but he's a prodigious kick, going into a little breeze.
So here's Barm, about 55 metres out. It's a pretty good kick, and he's got the distance, I should say, but the accuracy not there. He's missed. He's gone across the face of goal. So Port is 6-1, Norwood 2-5.
Craig Barn has been so productive for Norwood throughout the year. It'd be very interesting to see what Norwood would have done had David Pittman been fit and available, because Thompson's been pretty good as well. Just wonder whether they could have accommodated the three big men. I know that Pittman ended up playing centre-half back for the Crows, but perhaps that might have been an option, Neville.
Yes, indeed. It's a hard man to leave out, isn't he? Smart. Kelly from 50 metres. He's put down, but no free from disposal. Ducker goes wide. Off the ground, Delaney. Clever defensive football. Burton. They lose it. The bodies are hard. Macca, he won't shirk it. Head down. He goes through too high. Maybe a bit lucky.
Just draws the umpire's attention, doesn't he? Who'd be going to give a free kick against him?
Need a Pentax to stop him. Have a look at this. Head down. Look out, boys. Here I come. He's 50 out now.
That's too high.
Long, very accurate. That's the captain's goal. He's first, and he earned that the hard way. 14-point advantage, the Maggies.
Well, there's no doubt that Gary McIntosh is the catalyst. Norwood were in trouble in the elimination final against Central District. And after half-time, McIntosh and James cut Centrals to pieces. And last week against Glenelg in their triumph in the first semi-final, Macca again was the catalyst, and he's a very pivotal man today as well.
6-1-37, the Magpies. Norwood a 3-5-23. 29, almost 30 minutes gone in the first quarter of this preliminary final. Kelly's got it. It's going back to Barm, who's been significant since he's come on, still in the centre square. Long bomb, giving his forwards every possible chance. Pitt comes in from the side. It ricochets off Ducker's chest. He's got it again. Now a chance for Rowe. Over there is O'Brien. Well done by Julian Burton. The hand pass in the end, not good. Macca's got it. Now a chance for Pitt. Now a chance for O'Brien. He tries to get the kick away. He was under enormous pressure. And North East will wrap it up. So too does Delaney. Short one to Rowan Smith, and they're out of trouble.
30 minutes gone. First quarter. And the Magpies, a worried coach, but he wouldn't be disappointed with this quarter. It'll be a mile better than last week's. Tyler a long way out and takes a good, strong mark. He'll kick back to Darren Smith. He waits for him to get in position, taking his time. Down the line he goes. Smith. Two against him. McIntosh there. The crumb is Ginniver. Backwards to Bourlet. The runner is Bond. Over to Brown. They'll do it again, the Maggies. Off goes Scotty Hodges, watch for him. Jooms is there, did it well. James is the crummer. He's very cool, James. Gets around, gives it to Tanner. Foster's there. Tight work in traffic. And the Maggies keep it in the area.
Looks like Norwood have made a couple of changes. Stephen Pitt has gone to half forward. Grant Tanner seemingly to half back. Big crowd looking on. Just try and pick up who's playing on the wing at the moment. Could well be that Robinson's gone there.
Yes, they've been beaten on the wings, haven't they, Norwood? So Craig having to make a couple of changes there. Jonathan Toome standing over the pack. It's 6-1 Port Adelaide, Norwood a 3-5. A very long first quarter, 31.5 minutes. Neville Robertson, Stephen Trigg, your co-commentators this afternoon. Or Patterson falls over and it is through for a behinder. Is that out of bounds? No, it hits the point post, so no score there. 6-1 to 3-5, almost 32 minutes first quarter.
Can't be much time left in this first quarter, but a great start to the Magpies. They've got a chance again here. McIntosh doing work backward of centre. Patterson to ground. Williams caught with the ball, tries to work his way out, but he's got to get past McIntosh as the siren goes to end the first quarter. Port Adelaide 6-1-37, Norwood 3-5-23, a margin of 14 points.
Well, just as you'd expect from a preliminary final and such big stakes at hand, the winner into the grand final, that was a very fast and furious quarter of football. It was certainly one that was dominated by Port Adelaide. Norwood scratched and scrawled their way back into it late. They kicked themselves 3. They've got the job against them in the breeze in the second term.
So at quarter time, Port Adelaide leads 6-1-37. Norwood 3-5-23. You're watching all of the action on ABC Sport.
They are the lords of the City of London. Now they're accused of fleecing billions from their clients.
There are 100 syndicates in Lloyd's that I would resign from Lloyd's rather than be on their syndicates.
Thousands are ruined around the world.
Financially, it's absolutely disastrous. I was not, in hindsight, given the information I should have been given.
Any future I've got is just screwed up with Lloyd's.
Inside Lloyd's, the financial scandal of the decade. 4 Corners, 8:30 Monday.
And welcome back to Football Park, the preliminary final, the first quarter. It was a frenetic one. Port Adelaide leads 6-1-37. Norwood 3 goals, 5-23. The goal scorers.
And the prime movers, Darren Smith and Scotty Hodges with 2 each. Jennifer and Brown, just the singles. And for Norwood, there were 3 scorers. Prime Rowan McIntosh, and Macca head down through the pack. He might just be the person to fire them back into the game.
Neville, can you believe this is the same Port Adelaide we saw last week?
Oh, just incredible. They kicked 4 goals last week, and this week already out of the centres, just fantastic, and forwards really firing.
Start of the second quarter, here's Stephen Trigg.
So for Norwood, they've sent Craig Barham back to the interchange bench. David Burns is still off. Port Adelaide are unchanged. 13 points the difference, in fact 14 points the difference. The start of the second term. From the right of screen, it will be Chalmers. From the left, the gangly Thompson. Chalmers gets it. Kelly needs to provide some run from the centre. Did pretty well in the first term, just shaded Brown. Here's O'Brien, though, with a chance to get Norwood an ideal start. He thumps it in towards the southern end. Well done, Delaney. Sits back and takes a very solid mark. Plays on now, over the top. Mead sweeps through half-back. The kick is too short, though. Anthony Eames picks it off very well. Troy Bond provides the chase, and you wouldn't want anybody better because he is very, very quick. Mead again takes it. Hands off to Phillips. Phillips short. The target this time is Rowan Smith, and Port Adelaide are out of trouble.
14 points, the margin. This is Bond, Troy Bond, number 3. 6-1 to 3-5. Can Norwood lift? Almost the mark down there by James. Couldn't quite control it. Well done by Thompson. Knocks it into the path of Ginniver, though. Northeast, a long way down from his half-back flank. A couple of ricochets. It comes to Port Adelaide territory. Big chance here for Bond, caught behind. Now Williams in trouble. Well done by Tanner, though. Needs to lift a little. Now Scotty Burns kicks to right half forward. O'Brien gets the feet pedalling and kicks it into the forward pocket. Well done. He gained about 25-30 metres.
A very effective kick from Christian, but certainly a kick nonetheless, and it's his 5th. Very active up forward. He provides an option and works very hard in terms of keeping the ball in that forward zone, so he's not a bad contributor at the moment for Norwood.
Well, Norwood have had 8 shots for goal. Port have had 7. Although Norwood trail by 14 points. The value is straight kicking. Lyle, he got the knock from Phillips. He goes wide towards the boundary line. The percentage of their defence. And the difference to date has really been centre-half forward Darren Smith. This Grant Tanner, a lanky, athletic wingman, half-forward, centreman, ruck rover, back pocket, half-back flanker. Plays everywhere, does Grant Tanner. But Hodges and Smith have been the difference, along with Foster and Brown out of the centre. And there's the man that's done a lot of damage to date. With his legs, he's run over lines. Gary McIntosh, Proprietary Limited, gives it out, and they're in touch again through Rowe. Beautifully done out of the centre.
Stephen Rowe, I'd love to see him spend some more time on the ball, Neville.
Oh, he just gets so much of it. I agree with you.
He's not a bad goal kicker, granted, but I'd really love to see him spending a bit more time as a follower.
He won't make the distance, goes long. Behind the pack is Pitt. He's caught, back to Prime, open goal. was a throw. No, says the umpire. It's a goal. The Redlegs, 4-5. 29, Port Adelaide 6-1, 37.
Sorry to cause the confusion, Neville. My hand signal was because I thought it was a throw, not because the umpire had signalled it. Let's just have a look. A little bit of a push and a little left-handed flick pass. Not bad, fairly effective, and gives Norwood a goal. So I'd be pretty pleased about that, whichever way it comes about at the moment, because they've been under some siege and they just need a little bit of breathing space.
8 points in it. The Magpies are 6-1, 37. Norwood are 4-5, 29. We've played 3 minutes of the second quarter of the preliminary final for 1993. The winner into the grand final against the Eagles. Tim Ginniver with a very high kick. Darren Smith, who has had a blinder, gets underneath it, knocks it to Ginniver. A very good hand pass, a magnificently attacking hand pass. Now Brown, 45 metres out, or kicks on 50. Long bomb in front of the goal square. Up they go, the defence of Norwood under enormous threat here. Port Adelaide with the numbers, good tackling for the umpire. He thought it might have been holding the ball, it wasn't.
Should I just take you back down the ground a little bit further? I know that you're going to say, well, was it over the shoulder as well? So maybe one way or the other. Here's Borlase.
Yes, they might have been one each way there, and I take your point, Stephen. Foster, a chip to goal, and just offline. The crowd thought it might have just got there. 1 point to Richard Foster.
Neville, I was just going to say, let's take the focus to midfield at the moment. It's a great contest at the moment between Brown and Kelly. Yep. Brown covers more space. As I mentioned earlier in the call, Kelly stays at home, but they're really equal in possessions at the moment, having a ding-dong battle.
Both doing plenty of damage, and it'll be interesting to see whether one or other tightens up. Rowan Smith almost hands it back to Norwood. Chalmers, hands and legs. Troy Bond, beautiful handball.
Watch out.
Hodges from the boundary line. Out in full.
Good call.
Watch out. What, for the crowd that were in there that might have got hit in the head.
Row F.
Was there a fly in the box?
Well, he's usually pretty damaging from there, isn't he?
Oh, normally? Yes. Was that a question?
6-2, 4-5. The Magpies lead 38-29. Thompson to put this ball back into play. The giant ruckman, he's had a very good year. I know they've been very happy with him. Toombs is unmarked in front of his defensive goal. Now he's got a paddock to work with.
No options.
Little
There's
short
one.
chip pass is good to Tanner. That was his only one, Stephen, wasn't it, as it turned out? James got it from Kelly. Now Robinson, they're running the Redlegs. Long kick, have a look at Prime in front. Almost had 2 or 3 to beat down there. Also Rowe, a big chance, just needs to give it off. He couldn't do so. The umpire says play on. Now he blows the whistle. He says that was a throw. He was close, and the free kick is going Norwood's way.
It's a very colourful crowd. And, good luck getting that off after the game, but the umpires are picking up plenty of free kicks at the moment. So far, there are 12 to Norwood and 9 to Port Adelaide. Suggesting for a moment that one wasn't there, but there's plenty of frees being dished out. And Norwood, for their part, well, we've been critical of them in a lot of respects, but they're just 9 points down. Tanner with a chance to make it 3.
Directly in front, 45 metres out, even a shade closer, not a good kick. Terrible kick, straight down the throat of Mead.
Suffered the pressure there, didn't he? And kicking into a bit of a breeze, but didn't do very well. Again, Foster, one of the best, gives it back though. Thompson, Foster gives it back from Thompson, and mistakes galore. McIntosh, on too high, lucky to get out of that.
You'd never see Macca punch it on, take possession.
Pitt from 50, and he just punches it in high. Prime can't get there, and plenty of pressure out there, Steve.
Richard Foster's an improved player, isn't he? Last week he was one of Port Adelaide's perhaps 4 best in their thumping at the hands of the Eagles. He's had 7 and 3 so far, so he's been very good today as well. 9
points in it, 6-2 to 4-5. Here's Rowe, who's getting a lot of the football, so too Pitt. Well done by Ginniver. Caught, holding on, gets the free kick. The little rover has been around for a long, long time. Here's the kick from the back pocket, looking for Darren Smith, the centre-half forward. Well done by Modra. Straight down the throat of Patterson. Good kick, terrific footy. This is Ducker. That was excellent work.
Yes, and the first that we've seen of Mark Ducker. He's had plenty of leading, so I would suggest that that player on screen in Mead is just the ticket for him because he's very athletic and will jump all over the top of Mark. I mentioned a moment ago about Tanner's kick being important. Ducker's probably a better kick. You want to kick this one.
Here he is. Let's ride it with him. 40 metres out. Drop punt by Ducker. and he has missed just.
Should get those, Mark Ducker. That really is his calling card.
Norwood look a little more fluent, though, don't they? Starting to share the ball and run.
They look a lot better, and maybe they've settled down in this final. And Port Adelaide's experience, reminded of by John Cale, they might have believed him. Delaney, high, great crumb, Geneva. He's roving pretty well as he sends the Maggies into attack towards half-back. Modra couldn't take it. Hodges does. He's 40 out. Oh, top that. He's third. What a difference he's made to this Port Adelaide side. 7-2, great kicking, 44. The Red Leagues are 30.
Oh, you could just about start to write it down, couldn't you, as he took off? He doesn't miss many from there. We caught him a moment ago from the pocket, but as soon as he wheeled around, got himself on a straight line, he is absolutely deadly. And he made sure that one was through. Norwood do all the attacking. Port Adelaide have one entry, perhaps in the last 5 minutes. And when it's as incisive and as accurate as that one, it makes you pay. Norwood feeling the pinch at the moment, now a 14-point margin.
7 goals, 2:44, the Magpies. Norwood are 4 goals, 6:30. 9 minutes almost. Second quarter, prelim final. Back in the centre. Thompson and Chalmers. Thompson won that, and he's going to get a free kick. Chalmers appeared to come at him rather than go for the ball, and that's the way the umpire saw it. Defensive side of centre, gives it off to Robinson, who from about 85 metres with a long one to Prime. Once again, 2 to beat. Ducker there, was he held or tripped? No, the umpire didn't seem to think so. This could be a goal. It is a goal, and Stephen Pitt, magnificent football. He played to the whistle. It's 7-2 to 5-6.
Marking the shuffling of players that occurred very early in the game, I'm certain that Pitt started at half-back. Ended up in a more familiar spot, if you like, at half-back, because that's where he played his best footy early in the season. But latterly, he played at half-forward and as a follower and did very well. And I think shortly into that first term, when Port Adelaide were being so troublesome, Pitt went back there and up to the half-forward line and has provided a focal point.
So Norwood hit back. They trail by just 8 points. 10 minutes in. Second quarter, prelim final. All the action on ABC Sport. That's Modra, number 46, as he goes wide towards the boundary line. Leading in the race is Eames. Rowan Smith is there, he checks him. Nearly pinches it back. Well up the ground. Thompson, now Eames again. A high kick. Players set themselves. Mead couldn't take it. Pitt spoils. Lyle the crumb. He turns it around the corner. Down back along that wing. And Kelly loses it. Chance for the Maggies. Choibot caught. Robertson did that. Holding the man.
Now, well, there's 2 mistakes in that. One is giving away front spot, and I know that Bond is quick, but the first one is giving away front spot. The second mistake is giving away the free, because all these players, although now when it's changing over, not so much a problem, but when that happens, all the players are out of position. Real problem for Norwood.
So Bond has had 4 and 2. Hasn't been that bad. Rowe on the ball at the moment, where Stephen Trigg likes to see him. Rudd's had a caught. Play on's the call. Rowe back in the action. They've got the numbers there. So too have Port Adelaide. And we'll have another ball up. Stephen Williams looks for the appeal, but it's not coming from umpire Tim Pfeiffer. And here Richard Williams taking some advice from Stephen Rowe there.
Just 8 points in it. The Magpies lead 11 minutes. Very congested area. Darren Smith to Foster. Not far enough. Oh, he was pack-tackled there. Well done, though, by Bond. Gets it across to Geneva. A short chip looking down there for Tylor. Also Hodges. Here's danger signs for sure and certain. Gets it to Brown. He was under enormous pressure. Picked up by Borlase, and Borlase has shredded it through. Persistence by Port Adelaide. He gets his first.
Oh, make no mistake, this is a quality game at the moment. Norwood are doing pretty well, but Port Adelaide are doing better. And that's obvious on the scoreboard, but every time it goes inside half-forward for Port Adelaide, they have so many options that are threats. Add Borlase to that, as we mentioned through the first quarter. Doesn't he complement nicely players like Tyler, Hodges, Stephen Williams we haven't seen much of, but Darren Smith at centre-half forward's also been very good. And Borlase is just another trump card.
8-2. Port Adelaide, 5-6 the Red Leagues. Row out of the centre, and that's what they need to do more of. Patterson with pace. He'll lead in the race for the ball. Lyle's got him, though. Phillips to help out. Lyle caught with the ball by McIntosh. And in his back is the call. So McIntosh gives that free kick away. Lyle, and this is it, as he puts the saddle on, and a free kick. The crumb. Rowe, Modra, Well done to get it out to Tanner. He fumbles. Shane Bond, Ginniver, they close on him, and we'll have another bounce. 12 minutes gone, second quarter.
Now, well, one of the things that we've seen Norwood do so very well through the year is that they shunt their players back into defence in numbers. The centre line works back, their followers work back. They just haven't got time at the moment, have they? Port Adelaide working so quickly.
No, indeed. The workload, particularly of Brown and Foster at the moment, taking all those options away. Robert in front of the pack, and did that pretty well.
He had to, didn't he?
Oh, yes, he'd read it well. He got out in front. And I wonder whether he's got the job, keep the job on Hodges there. Thompson, in front, doing it nicely. Scott Robertson. But he's got the job on Hodges now, so Norwood making that change between Toombs and Robert just to try and curb the Port Adelaide champion. They're at centre wing. Under the ball is Bond and Shane Bond. Robertson goes to check him. Holding the ball, scream the Magpie fans. Play on's the call. Eames does it well. The runner inside is Smith. There's a call on play, though, and it'll go back. Port Adelaide have got it. The crowd don't like it. Not to advantage, and I don't really understand why he'd bring them back.
A fantastic crowd, and it was hard to hear the whistle. There was certainly plenty of screaming going on. Bond having to go all the way back, giving Norwood a chance to work back.
There's Shane Bond's kick. At the back is James. It comes to his brother. A big chance now for Troy Bond from about 45 metres out. Getting back is Robert. That was another mark he had to take, although on this occasion he was just happy to see it go through for a behind. It's 8-3 Port, Norwood a 5-6.
It's actually a good ploy for him to try and make some play and get in front, because if he gives Hodges front spot, he'll lose 5 metres every time.
Rowe in space and plenty of it. He just goes long. They go up, and O'Brien is the player that takes front position. The runner is McIntosh. Off they go. Ducker on a lead. He's got it. Beautifully put. Brilliant. And he fought hard for position, Ducker, then.
Well, he used his body very well. It's not a bad kick from Macca either, is it? Look at that. Just puts it in the perfect spot. Ducker twisted his body this way and that, gave himself every chance, and then just cradled it well on the chest.
Has one behind. He missed the last one from about this position to the right. He needs to kick these. Head down through the ball. That's a better kick. First goal, Norwood have kicked 6-6. They're 42. Port Adelaide 8-3-51. An 8-point margin at the 14-minute mark.
Mark Ducker gets his second. And as we mentioned earlier, he really needs to do some work. Chris Prime, we haven't seen much of him so far. He's been well covered by the player back there in Delaney. Plenty of experience. And at least one of those guys down there needs to fire. At the moment, it's Mark Ducker who's coming through with flying colours.
Sorry, Neville, I shortchanged Port Adelaide there, as I indicated, 8 points. The margin is 9. 8-3-51, the Magpies. Norwood is 6-6-42. We've played 15 and a half minutes. There's Thompson, there's Chalmers. A lot of players in the centre square. A chance now for Tanner as he goes crashing through. Foster there as well, and also Patterson, and there'll be another ball up.
Mark, it's a big ask for Macca, but I'd love to see him in the centre square for every bounce down. In other words, physically in over the ball. He's tough, dispatching the reflex. Whenever he sits out of the centre square contest, Norwood look to be in trouble to me. They need him in the centre square, in my mind, for every single centre bounce.
Comments from Stephen Trigg. Here's Thompson getting a free kick out of the centre. Kicks up toward left half forward. It's charged away, though, by Rowan Smith. Changes direction. Oh, what a mark over the top by Scott Hodges. Terrific grab. Magnificent.
Oh, he's something special, isn't he, Scotty? Look at that.
Gets on with it quickly. He puts it up very high indeed. And the mark down there taken by Brett James. So a wasted opportunity there after such a wonderful play.
So Toombs with the ball. He's deep in defence, right in that back pocket, tight to the boundary line. He puts it up, Monterey. Borlays can't take it. Brown again. Thompson's got him. Inside, they give it over. Patterson gets away, has a bounce. Through the centre he goes, 2 bounces. He'll go long to Prime, over the top, but too wide. He wanted Prime behind, and Mead read that brilliantly.
Port Adelaide defence were just too tight there. They did it very well.
Oh.
The kick is poor. He wanted Rowan Smith. McIntosh is there, taps it out to Rowe. Wide they go. This is Eames around Bond. Inside, it's good. Rowe's got time, back on his right. Heads towards goal. It's a beauty, he's first. Norwood 7-6, 42, Port Adelaide 8-3-51, and that's Rowe's second goal.
Didn't he do that well, Stephen Rowe? Look at that for some creativity. Got the reflex out towards Eames, then charged off and made another option as well. Had the presence of mind to turn inside, straighten up, into what slight breeze there is, and he nailed it. There's a few little pushing and shovings going on out there at the moment, so things are starting to fire up in the preliminary final.
Yes, Cockatoo Collins comes on. And James is the man who's got him there. Stephen Rowe just stretching the hamstrings. It's 8-3 to 7-6. 17 3/4 minutes second quarter. 51 to 48. It's a terrific game of football. And Kelly gets going with Norwood again. Kicks up toward right half forward. Have a look at Stephen Pitt, thunder across the turf. Kicks around the corner into the forward pocket. He'd be happy for that to pitch inside. It does. And then drifts out of bounds in the right forward pocket. There's the Norwood bench.
And Craig Barham calling, come on, Macca.
Well done, Dickie Kelly! I think Stephen Williams was the player to come off. Haven't seen much of Stephen today at all. And Cockatoo Collins is just the player I would think to come onto a forward pocket and provide something.
Right on the 50-metre mark for Norwood. And a throw from the Magpies who'll give Stephen Pitt a kick. And 50 metres. Now, he didn't hand the ball back. Oh, that is very, very hard. He put the ball down exactly where Pitt had to go. Oh, I don't agree with that. That's a monstrous decision for Pitt. Certain goal for Norwood.
They're very hurtful, aren't they, those 50-metre decisions? There's been much speculation about whether it should be 50. Maybe there should be an interim of 25.
But what did he do wrong? He put the ball down exactly where Pitt had to go.
Regardless of the misdemeanour, Neville, I'm saying that the outcome is a certain goal here, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, well, exactly.
No problems at all for Pitt.
The Redlegs are in front. Pitt's kicked his second. A shocking decision.
Well, of course, the rule says he has to throw it back on the full, and if it goes too far wide, a problem will be caused, but speculation will always abound about the 50-metre. Either way, Norwood have done very well, and there's some very good signs for them here at the moment because they've been struggling. The run and fluency not quite there. They've scratched and scrawled, kept their way in it. Now they're in front. The signs are good.
Thompson, Chalmers. 8-6, 8-3. The Magpies trail now. It's 19.5 minutes of the second quarter of the prelim final. Up onto the half-forward line. Here's the dangerous Stephen Pitt. Intelligent work by the young man. A chance for Rowe, who is really firing. Back to Pitt. Squares it. Looking down there for Ducker, who's pushing and shoving. Did Mead push him out of the way? Not illegally, says the umpire. In comes the truck. Big Chris Prime. Don't tell me he's going to kick this. Oh, no, he hasn't. I thought he had. I was getting very excited there. The whole grandstand erupted in front of me. It's 8-7 to 8-3.
Someone call a doctor. Mark Hastings just had a cardiac arrest, I think. Wasn't it a good effort from the big man? He really can bring them back and bend them around the body. His agility is very, very good for a man of his size. Stephen Pitt, as you called a moment ago, Mark, is really getting to the game. He and Rowe forming some sort of a tangible duo there. They're playing very well. Pitt has 9 and 2, and Rowe's played very well also.
What a contest. We expected it. McIntosh, a slick handball. O'Brien, the runner is Eames. He's inside 50. Off he goes. I think he's got it. Oh, the Redlegs, he's first. They go further ahead. 9-3, 57 Norwood. Sorry, 8-9-7, 61. Porter 8-3, 51.
Anthony Eames with his 7th kick is playing on centre wing at the moment. He's been very incisive. He works his way down inside half forward pretty well. Not that fond of going deep into defence, but he loves to kick goals. And, of course, got pretty excited when that one went through. The Redlegs are away.
6 goals to 2 in this quarter by Norwood, Stephen.
And they're into a couple of goal breeze as well.
It's 8 goals 3 to 9 goals 7. 10 points in it. Norwood lead. Up onto the half-forward line now for Port Adelaide. There's Rowe getting another touch. A chance for Scott Burns. Umpire comes across and he will ball it up. An interchange player coming on. Rosonico about to get sent to come on for Port Adelaide. We'll try and pick up the player who's about to come off, and Craig Barham warming up as well. So it's 9-7 to 8 goals 3. The margin 10 points. Borlays gets a quick kick inside 50. Down there is Tyler and also Toombs. Tyler knocks Scotty Burns out of the way. Big chance for Shane Bond. Gets it back. Ginniver's calling for it. He got it from Rowan Smith. Tim Ginniver. Long kick from about 65. Up goes Scott Hodges. Couldn't control it. James there as well. Scott Burns as well. A chance for Norwood. They need just to get back and defend their hearts out. It is hard and tough football, and there'll be a ball up.
Neville, you said a moment ago, as we watched Craig Barham ready to come back onto the ground with all of his experience, he'll replace Michael Thompson. The Port Adelaide player coming off is Darren Mead. That's a surprise. Rosonico's going to go on and pick up Ducker. But you called it well earlier when you said that Norwood started in a little bit of a panic. They've settled very well.
Around the corner, an opportunity. Troy Bond, but he's a little offline. And 1 point. And they have taken the initiative, Norwood, haven't they? They're playing like veterans, despite their lack of experience by comparison.
That point about their last couple of games being finals, yes, as Tanner takes on the far side. The point is that this is a much bigger game in front of a much bigger crowd against a traditional foe.
It's 61-52, and I noticed that John Carlos recognised the importance of Ducker, and he's put Rosonico on him, taken Need off. 22, almost 23 minutes.
I'm very surprised by that, because Ducker, whilst he's kicked a couple, Neville, you wouldn't have thought that he'd been taken to pieces, would you?
No, I'm surprised at that. I think Mead's the sort of player they need to keep on, as North East and McIntosh smile at each other. Well, Mac is smiling. North East doesn't see the humour. Craig Barham with a lot of patience on the boundary line.
Getting sparks there if North East and McIntosh decided to get wound up.
Well, Barmy would be getting sick of waiting. He's doing his shoelaces up again. There's Rowan Smith on hands and knees, and there'll be a ball up. Checking the scoreline, and you're watching this on ABC Sport. It's 9-7, 61 Norwood. Port Adelaide 8 goals, 4-52.
Tim Pfeiffer and Richard Williams have got the job here today, and it's a tough one to control. Ginnivan got it to Shane Bond, holding the ball cool. Norwood as Ginnivan sends it in over the 50-metre mark, the bounce. Beautifully done, Robber, and he's pretty much on top back there at the moment. James, slick handball. Kelly through the centre. Away they go. Scotty Robertson was the player that got it up towards centre wing. Thompson can't get it. Foster, quick handball. North East has a bit of time, has a look. Smith underneath it, but he couldn't get there.
How well is this guy playing? Stephen Pitt is following. He's all over the park at the moment.
And Robert doing a great job as well.
Yes, that's for sure, Neville. Rowe being manhandled, surely.
And he's just the other one. Stephen Rowe is doing very, very well as a rover. Has 8 and 9 so far.
Pitt gave it to Kelly, who in turn gave it to Scotty Burns, who in turn kicks inside 50. Down there is Prime. Well, the big man somehow has got it. Releases Patterson. Here's danger signs. A wonderful goal by Patterson. Magnificent work by Prime, and that is Patterson's first.
Doesn't he love to run, Stephen Patterson? Neville mentioned earlier that he was disappointing in terms of his ability to draw votes in the grand final. Norwood have made their change. Thompson has come off finally, and Craig Barham, having got a little bit of a weight on the boundary side, is now on the deck. But Norwood, gee, don't they look good now? They've settled to the task very well. And Port Adelaide now the side under real pressure.
Under enormous duress, aren't they?
Scott, Stephen Patterson doing that on the run there. Did that very well indeed. 10-7 Norwood. Port Adelaide are 8-4. We're just into time on in this second quarter of the prelim final. And pack tackle too high. A break for the Redlegs again. They'd love another one before half-time. Wide to Tanner if it sits. Bounces very close. He gets there just in time. Foster makes him kick the ball towards half-forward. Good spoil on Ducker, northeast to ground. Oh, through O'Brien, did it pretty well. Prime, Delaney, they fight it out on the ground.
One of the things that Norwood are doing much better at the moment is that when they get an entry inside that 50-metre line of theirs, they have Prime and Ducker, and particularly number 41, Christian O'Brien. They're working their tails off to keep that ball in the forward zone and give themselves another shot at it.
15-point margin. Can they make it more?
The example.
Roll around the corner, offline. 16 points separates the two sides as Rowe grits his teeth in disappointment.
Gee, him and Pitt are carving them up, aren't they?
Absolutely, and Stephen Rowe, well, he's got plenty of experience. You'd expect him to be a damaging player, but quiet last week. Not quite the same player this week.
There's Delaney's kick. He gets a lot of distance with that. Chalmers was one of them up. A chance for McIntosh. Have a look at this. It's Patterson again. He'll bang this through, surely from about 30 metres. No, he misses. Well, it was all set up for him.
That's why I thought he did so well before when he kicked that goal, because I have been critical of the way he finishes in front of goal.
I think to be fair to him, Neville, that Delaney just came in across him. If anything, just took his eye probably, and the eyes would have come up and taken it off the focus of the boot. But Roger Delaney, when that ball was peppered straight back in, was going really crooked the halfback line for not dispatching the ball from the area.
He had another alternative in Prime too, probably not quite sure. Delaney's kick was short to Lyle. He now, straight down the centre, underneath it, Phillips, the big knock. Smith, they need one. Hodges might be the player that can do it for them. He goes long towards goal, underneath it, Tylor. Leads in the race for the ball, keeps it in play, only just. James, Toombs has got him. Ginnivan throws it, loses it to Tanner. Tight defence, great defence, the Redlegs, and Pitt drops it. Collins, percentage.
Norwood side showing great composure, aren't they?
And they're doing it in numbers.
Never looked scary in the first quarter, didn't it? Whenever it went down to the Port Adelaide attacking zone, you'd almost close your eyes. Which one of the Norwood boys is going to be in trouble now? But they've really risen to the occasion now.
It's another stage for these young Norwood players. And they're taking on the mantle pretty well.
And what a wonderful standard, fellas.
Fantastic.
Well, I guess you can always predict a good contest between these two clubs, but the standard is a bit of a surprise. 27 minutes, second quarter.
And you couldn't get it any better with a deck like this. It's absolutely perfect football park.
17 minutes, here's CCC. Shea Cockatoo Collins kicks inside 50. Outshaw, he's got to be held on to there, surely, against Geneva. And the free kick going Norwood's way. It's going Roberin's way. He's playing well.
Having a big game, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Well, he's got a big job, Neville, hasn't he? 10-9 to 8 goals for. Here's Robrin. Done very well in defence. Long kick, just short of centre wing. Up goes Robinson, picked up by Tanner. Caught, dispossessed. A chance for Chalmers. Infield to the half-back flank of Paul Northeast from centre wing. Long bomb, looking for Hodges and also Smith. And that's the first time we've seen Smith for a while in this quarter.
Did pretty well there, Darren Smith. He tried to make an option to the far side of the ground. The northeast kick wasn't quite pinpointed. Smith had to double back, turn around, and in the end took a pretty good mark.
Here he is from about 48 metres. Darren Smith, an important one, Darren. And you've missed. You've kicked to the right-hand side, so not a good result there. It's Norwood 10-9 as we approach half-time. The Magpies 8-5.
Yes, they needed that one, and who would have thought that at quarter time they were playing with such purpose? Would have thought you'd lift the eyes and see them 16 points down.
They've got a bit of a sniff. Tanner to Robrin, the Redlegs, that is. High, and from behind, doing it pretty well. Scotty Robertson. He'll go on quickly, uses the left boot to chip. Kelly, it comes off. McIntosh tells him to go for the run. Into 50 they go. Patterson and Lyle. Great mark, Lyle. Two young players. What a contest.
Yes, I was just going to say two brilliant youngsters there, Neville.
6 and 4. Back towards centre wing. Tanner alone. He'll wrap this up and push it back in. We're nearly 30 minutes gone. Collins, great smother. Smith, desperate work by the half forward as he goes in. He punches it in. Short and finds Shane Bond.
Yeah, well, let's not put too fine a point on it. That smother is the sort of thing that changes games around. No doubt about it. Watch this. From level with the play, he threw himself headlong at it, and the whole side lifts when that happens.
Well, they could have been in their forward line, Norwood, but now Shane Bond's having a shot at goal. He puts it up. Too wide. They need a big grab there. Can't be done as Pitt goes for the safety and just punches it through. 1 point only.
I think Robin's playing well enough, or confidently enough. I think he was a bit disappointed there. I think he was looking for that rebound from Pitt, but as it happened, it went through for a behind.
Okay, Robin now from fullback. His target is Scotty Robertson. Up he goes. Hit there as well. And Port Adelaide this time get a free kick. Now the frees are 13 Port, 18 Norwood. So 14-18 I should say. 4 more in favour of the Redlegs. James, off he goes. Pitt again, he owns this park today. Wants McIntosh, he's a favourite, he'll take this. Centre wing. He's looking for a runner, he's got tunes but he's covered. Now he'll go to O'Brien. He leads Burton. Oh, strong overhead mark out in front. And Burton doesn't like the attention.
Yeah, but one of the things that Norwood are doing very well, 50 metres paid against Burton, so that's costly again. One of the things that Norwood are doing well is that they're absolutely getting beaten centre half forward. We haven't seen anything of Sam Smart, haven't seen much of Phillips either, but he's certainly cut his opponent out of the game. Norwood are having to circumnavigate centre half forward. Given that they have to do that through a key position, they're actually doing pretty well.
Indeed. Good observation. O'Brien with 50 metres. Takes him and he'll kick from right on that 50 or just forward of it. He'd want to be his best. Into a slight breeze. Yet to score. Well, 1 point he has.
Beautiful kick.
It's not bad, is it? Oh, super kick. The Redlegs, 11-9, 75. Port Adelaide, 8-6-54. He's first.
I think there were a few eyebrows raised when this man was drafted by Geelong. And, well, I guess today he's proving a point. He's a robust type. He works very hard. And McIntosh just dispatching in there, O'Brien. And in the end, you saw a perfect execution of the drop punt kick. And it wasn't a bad one because it was into the teeth of the breeze. Norwood continue to do very well.
8 goals to 2, Stephen.
Terrific quarter.
In this term. 11-9 to 8 goals 6. 32 minutes, second quarter of the prelim final. It's still in the centre, Kelly and Brown. And there'll be another ball up. A huge crowd here, terrific conditions, wonderful sight, and the winner to play the Eagles in next week's grand final. A lot of players in the centre. Kelly, Brown, he's got him. And Richard Williams comes across, and we'll ball it up again.
Oh, there's a player gone down. The umpire's not going to be drawn into that. In fact, Tyler gets up and has a bit of a giggle about it. I'm sure he's altogether amused, but he puts on the front anyway.
Yes, indeed, and this Academy Award, Norwood with the ball, centre. So they're looking to go forward again. 33 minutes of play in this second quarter. Pitt from the side, the punch, loose ball. Ginniver gets it up to Burton, questionably, in the back of Collins. Advantage paid Burton now, on the left boot. Oh, here's a chance, Tyler. He's in space, he's got Foster running. They need this, the Maggies. He can run it right in, he's got Smith short. Decides to go for goal, he want to kick it. Oh, he's offline, he had three options. He had Hodges and he had Smith.
They'd eat them normally, Stephen, wouldn't they?
They certainly would.
So it's half time here.
Port Adelaide are 8-7. 55, they've conceded the lead to the Red Leagues, 11-9, 75, a margin of 20 points.
How can you pick this game of football? Norwood looked out of it for all money at the end of the first term. It was 6-1 to 3-5. They struggled for every part of the game, but they came out and they've kicked 8 goals into a breeze. Port Adelaide could only manage 2. This game is set for something special in the second half of the preliminary final.
Half-time, Norwood 11-9, 75. Port Adelaide 8 goals, 7, 55. You're watching all of the action on ABC Sport.
Why are boys so obsessed with sex?
Zoe's sweet 16 and growing up fast.
There's a lot more at stake than just losing their virginity. That is what we're really talking about, isn't it?
Yes.
Tessa and Ian are trying not to be overprotective.
We're simply concerned that you might be getting into things that you're not ready for yet.
But she's made up her mind.
Hope the neighbours didn't see you.
Is she prepared for the consequences? Great Australian drama, GP, 8:30 Tuesday.
Prime, 6 goals, 1, or 7 touches, I should say, for 4 goals, 1, so it's not bad conversion. A chance, Mondra does it brilliantly from half-back, takes them all on and beats them, goes to Thompson and pushes it into forward. Ducker, 2 catches, he's got it. Oh, Norwood, when they go forward, do they look good? McIntosh in space, but Ducker fancies himself.
Yes, they do now. Every time they go forward, there's something happening with either Ducker or Prime. And let's add O'Brien to that as well. Early in the game, it was the Port forwards that were very dangerous. Now it's the Norwood turn.
1 goal only to date. He'd love this one. Oh, everything going right for the Red Leagues. He's second. And the margin ekes out to 32 points.
Neville, it's not a customary Port Adelaide side that doesn't sort of find some spirit or some fire. I'm surprised by the lack of, whilst we've had some good tackles, the real physical application today.
Yes, I think Port Adelaide are just, after last week, they're trying to recover everything. And I don't think they expected Norwood to open the way they have or use the footy as well as they have, or to be as physical. But really, as you said, the challenge squarely and fairly at Port Adelaide's feet.
A score check. You're watching this on ABC Sport. Norwood are 15-15, 105. The Magpies 11-7, 73. The margin is 32 points. Hodges, who's a long way up from full forward. I wonder if he's been shifted. Now Lyle, who's a brilliant player and up forward as well. Maybe having a run on the ball. Chip pass to Smith is good.
Yes, he has been shifted. Darren Smith has gone, as you see, to full forward. Hodges has gone out to centre-half forward. Not so sure about that move. Smith wasn't playing too badly. Hodges had kicked the last goal and they get switched around.
He won't have any more point kicks in this one today.
He's going to kick from about 40 metres, slight angle. He's got everything going for it. There's the drop punt. The umpire has a good look at it, and he's missed. Oh, critical one, and he did miss a critical one earlier on, Stephen.
Yes, he did. Darren Smith has played centre-half forward for Port Adelaide for 10 years, and he's been very, very good. John Cale looks on, and that is a look of a very worried man, I can tell you. He came out with some statements during the week about how confident he was of their victory today. At the moment, it's looking a little shaky, John.
Kelly deep in defence and centre wing. Collins has got the jump. The big men from Norwood come in. They cause the spill. Rowe turns his way out of it, tunes up the ground, and away they go again. Ducker underneath it. Rezonico there. McIntosh nearly, not quite. On a half volley. Rezonico through the centre is good. Borlase has got it, and Rowe's got him.
Here's Borlase playing on quickly, gives it to Chalmers. Centre wing in front of the members here. Long kick inside 50. Smith again. Good work. It was a lovely kick. A terrific kick.
Well, he's got a chance to make amends from about 45 metres.
Another important one for him. The giant electronic scoreboard reads Norwood 15-15, Porter 11-8. Here's Darren Smith. A lot of pressure on this man. Long kick, and I think he's got it. Yes, he has. Oh, they needed that. Norwood 15-15, 105. Port Adelaide 12-8, 80.
Just didn't look like it was going to get there, did it? That breeze has become something significant at the moment, and Norwood, of course, will have the last use of it. Coming up in the last turn, we're right on the doorstep of time on. That was a very, very good kick from Darren Smith, and as he took it, Norwood made a change. Craig Barmer's come on, Michael Thompson off.
And Scott Hodges is up at half forward as Port Adelaide mount their final assault, or very close to it, and we're near time on in the third quarter. Chalmers, Borlase, Tanner now, over half forward for the Redlegs. Ducker's got it. Needs help, there's none there. McIntosh comes through. Look out, here I come. On his right leg, dodges and dives and chips off beautifully. The crowd love him. Eames from 40 inside. Patterson gives it back. He's got it back himself. They've got too much pace at the moment. Ducker's caught. Beautiful tackle, Borlase. The Magpies, they good under pressure. And Braden Lyle clears the ball. Only as far as centre wing. Troy Bond or Shane Bond's there. Brown, tough work by Borlase. Collins around the corner. He's got Shane Bond. A shocking bounce. Brown, though, he can break the tackle. Now Shane Bond a chance. He kicks it in. Borlase has got it.
I watched that, and I couldn't believe that that kick was coming off from Cockatoo Collins' boot. But give the young man credit. He had the vision and the awareness to find a player running on centre wing. That was a fantastic piece of play, even accounting for the fact that the pounce didn't suit Port Adelaide.
I tell you what, Port Adelaide have dived into the vaults of culture and spirit at Port Adelaide. They are looking for anything to lift themselves out of this mess. Borlase from 20. They need it desperately. He's let them down in the square. A chance. Collins. He's caught. It's out of bounds. But they're still deep in the forward line.
I did feel sorry, Stephen and Neville, for Gary McIntosh some minute or so ago when he did all of that hard work and then Pato just couldn't quite hang on from the hand pass.
Tyler out of the ruck, tries to grab it. Too high on Lyle. Free kick, not there. Unlucky. Stephen.
Just to pick up on that, there's a couple of times that Mac has come barnstorming his way through half forward. Once he missed the goal, I think if he'd got that one, it would have really lifted Norwood. Well, was that too high or not? Perhaps it matters not what we think. The umpire's called a bounce down. The other time, as you say, that Mac had just missed out was when Patterson couldn't take control.
Big chance for Port Adelaide as Brown gathers the bouncing ball, looking for someone in front of the goal. Cockatoo Collins from behind. Has he been paid? No. Umpire very close there, Richard Williams. Still in front of the Port Adelaide goal. There's Jonathan Toombs. So a critical play here. 15-15, 105 Norwood. Port 12-8, 80. Prelim final, well and truly into the third quarter. Knocked to the side. Chance now for Burns. Well done to McIntosh. McIntosh goes in, fearless as ever, and then tackles Brown, and there'll be another ball up.
This is Neville Roberts has been saying through the last few moments. It's just now is the time for Port Adelaide. And you get the feeling that McIntosh senses that as well. And he's lifted his work rate at both ends of the ground, and he's throwing himself in to set an example for his players so that they don't go into a lapse.
And he's deep in defence at the moment. They need a break, Port Adelaide, coming out of it. They're doing it pretty well with Scott Burns. Goes wide. They've got the numbers, Port Adelaide. Christian O'Brien's alone. Can they work it out? Foster. Oh, just got through. Well done through the centre. And Short finds Borlase. They'll build on this. Brown's clear. He'll go over centre or run it in. He takes the second option. He's got a lead. Jennifer James is there. In his back. The umpire agrees. So Jennifer from 45.
Jennifer did it pretty well. Just stood his ground. Could sense that there was a player coming behind. Just held up. Popped the head down to make sure that the umpire knew it was in the back. And this also is a tremendously important kick.
Kick one in the first. And goes back to have another one.
I'd take a punt on this and say that Tim couldn't make the distance from there. He's going to shoot from just inside 50, but I think it's too far.
He's had 23 touches for 1 goal. He won't make the distance. They need a big catch. Smith, he's got Hodges! He's a big game player, isn't he?
What an understatement. He is a big-time player, all right, and he's just the ticket for this occasion. When you get an opportunity, you've got to make the most of it, and Hodges with those big fists takes a very good mark. What an important kick now.
He plays tall, has 4 from 20. No mistake. They're on the way back, the Magpies. I sense it. What do you think, Steve?
Well, I've seen it happen so many times over the last 10 to 15 years, and I'm sure going back before my time, legend has it that Port Adelaide, they're never done with. We saw them last week get pulverised at the hands of the Eagles, and we were all astounded by that. Don't think it happened 2 weeks in a row. Port Adelaide, as you say, on the march. Be interesting to see what happens with their centre bounce. Macca's put himself in there. They put all their big guns in there. Kelly's there. Patterson's there. This is a very important exit.
Norwood at 15-15, 105. The Magpies 13-8, 86. The atmosphere is quite outstanding here as Baum goes up with Chalmers. Chalmers sweeps the hand pass. He put Rowan Smith under pressure. Kelly, very, very good. Short chip pass there by Baum. He was under a bit of pressure. Up toward Duckett territory. Tried to knock it to the advantage of Eames. Eames comes in, runs straight into Phillips. A good kick there by Smart. That was very good. And O'Brien on the end of it. Excellent vision.
Good mark. 2 Port Adelaide players bearing down on him. The thing about him is that he has no fear. Just managed to bring it in on the second grab. And now he has a chance to square it up in terms of the last couple of moments. Norwood have made a late change. Modra is coming off, and David Burns coming on for the first time in the game.
So an important kick. This is O'Brien. Everyone watches with bated breath. There's the kick from about 50 metres. He's offline, well offline. Anticlimactic. He's put it through for a behind.
I don't know whether Ben Modra is sore or not, or because he was standing the player in Scott Hodges, who has just a little more mobility at the moment, that centre-half forward. Either way, he's off. Robinson's picked up Hodges.
So the centre breaks, 19 Norwood, 11 Port. And that's 8 more. It makes a big difference. Craig Baum on the ground. Norwood by 20 points with 30 minutes gone, third quarter. Baum sends it back towards half forward. All alone, wrapping it up is Chalmers. Gee, they need him to get cracking. Delaney, they switch the play. Nowhere to go, though. Has to give a sweeping handball. Well done, Delaney to Borlase. The Magpies trail Norwood at three-quarter time in the prelim final by 20 points.
You're watching all of the action on ABC Sport, checking the three-quarter time. It's Norwood 15-16, 106. The Magpies 13-8, 86.
Wednesday night at 8, Quantum asks the question.
So how do you stop a rampaging toad? Golfing practice.
8:30, So Help Me God, a compelling new documentary from Jenny Brocky.
My life's on the line. We do our best.
9:50, Attitudes on the Land.
There's not the future here, I suppose.
Who will carry on our farming future? That's Wednesday night on your ABC.
It's your ABC.
Welcome back to Football Park, three-quarter time in the preliminary final. Norwood at 15-16, 106. Port Adelaide 13 goals, 8, 86.
And the goal scorers, Hodges got away that quarter with a couple. He's got 5, Darren Smith 3. And for Norwood, the main scorers, Prime with 4, Rowe, Pitt and Duckett 2 each. And their centre breaks 20 to 11. And there's the man that's responsible for it, Pitt. And with him, Patterson. They've been absolutely sensational. 15 touches, Patterson, 18 touches and 2 goals, Pitt. They've been really the difference.
Start of the last quarter, here's Stephen Trigg.
Umpire Richard Williams to get the last quarter underway. Chalmers is back in ruck. Gets the first tap away in front of Thompson. Can Port Adelaide pick up this 20-point deficit that they were down at half-time as well? The first entry is to Norwood. Rosonico's there, so too is Lyle, sweeping back and doing very well is Rowan Smith, but doing better is Stephen Patterson. Well done, couldn't quite control it though. The reflex from Smith was good. Mead gets Port Adelaide temporarily out of trouble. Burns dives, can't take the mark. James pushes it on. David Burns works back. Brown applies the pressure. Robinson's in there. You'd expect some fireworks in the first part of this, the last term. Here's Cockatoo Collins. McIntosh on the up. Scott Burns right into the centre of the ground. Thompson pushed forward. Kelly's in there. So too David Burns. Pack of players develop. And the umpire's found a free kick. It'll go Port Adelaide's way. So from the centre of the ground, Brett Chalmers lifts the eyes. No doubt Hodges will be one target. Darren Smith is another. Watch out for Scott. Couldn't quite get up over the top. Here now is Tyler. Over the shoulder he goes. Looks for and finds Cockatoo Collins. And he's got him just 10 metres out on a very acute angle.
They're on the way back, the Magpies. Make no mistake about that. And Collins is one player that has really fired them. They also need Smith at half forward and Hodges to continue in the pocket. Collins for 15. Beautiful kick under the pressure. 2 goals. The Maggies 14-8, 92. Norwood 15-16, 106.
Critical that first goal. Called it the Tyler. Looked for it and found Cockatoo Collins. Not so sure about that. I think that Mark was essentially looking for the goals. Most spectacular attempt. Fell into the arms of Cockatoo Collins. I'm sure he's very happy. The Port Adelaide crowd sense something coming now. There's a big cheer up around the ground. Can Norwood manage to hold on?
Well, Norwood have responded every time Port Adelaide have thrown something at them. Let's have a look at it now. 15-16, 106 Norwood. Port Adelaide 14 goals, 892. And the mighty Magpies are up at left half forward. A chance now for Foster. High kick into the forward pocket, looking for Tyler. Oh, almost. And there'll be a ball up. Gee, that was close.
So 2 centre breaks, Stephen, and they look dangerous, don't they?
Yes, they do. They've been beaten in the centre square area so far. Norwood have 21 exits. Port Adelaide have 12, but they've got the last couple of critical ones. Norwood will need to get their best performers in the middle of the ground and steady.
So David Burns takes it over the line. He's happy to see it there. Worried supporters. That's a Magpie looking on. Good crowd here, great conditions. The jewel of the SANFL Football Park. And a great contest. The Magpies and the Red Leagues. McIntosh and Burns combine towards half forward. Smart, 2 or 3 grabs, throws it out to Kelly. He's been caught.
He's just had one arm help. Port Adelaide are doing something interesting with their ruckman now. They've got Chalmers back on the ball. He's playing with the back playing Michael Thompson. So instead of playing defensively, he's playing on the attacking side for his team.
Loose ball now, McIntosh. He'll go to it with Tyler. Quick handball. Rowan Smith. Beautiful smother. Patterson, or Eames, I should say. Good pace. He gets it to Thompson. A fumble. Quick kick. Oh, beautifully done. O'Brien. He's off. Backwards to Kelly. He'll use the ball. He always does. Rowe's got a mile of space. Rosonico, 50 metres. It has to be.
Yes,
no doubts about it.
Stephen Rowe would have known that someone was coming. I guess seeing Rosonico's picking him up at the moment, he would have had a pretty clear idea. There's 4 50-metre penalties been dished out so far today. He would have got 4 of them. Port Adelaide none.
So Stephen Rowe kicks his third. He's had 26 touches. Been a dangerous player. And he steadies the Red Leagues.
Roger Delaney looks on. There's not much he could have done about that, that's for sure. Sat back from his vantage point and could only watch as Rosonico. Could be a question mark about whether or not he was committed to that. Or was it too late? You make your own mind up. The umpire decided for his part that it was going to be a 50-metre penalty because it was too late.
Stephen, you're sitting on the fence. You know whether he had time, did he?
I'm sure he could have pulled out.
Good on you.
Norwood is 16-16, 112. The Magpies 14, 892. We hope you're enjoying this big match on ABC Sport. And the Magpies, can they fight back? Burns lost it. Now Tanner from centre half back, kicks midfield, looking for Pitt. Someone over there. O'Brien was the man who was late. Thompson caught that. Got to be very close to holding the ball. The umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt. Up goes Tanner, couldn't control it. Borlaze there as well. Well done, good persistence by Borlaze. Long kick looking for Tyler right at the back tubes. Good work. Chance now for Bond, the dangerous Shane Bond. Have a look at this young man go. Shane Bond from 30 metres. Yes, sir. Reed. Second goal, 16-16 Norwood. The Magpies 15-8.
You've just witnessed a young player of enormous class. It's the way he reads this. He set himself in the front spot. Good turn of pace. Really turned Burns inside out. Perhaps the handball was on. In the end, he decided that he could do it on his own. He certainly did just that.
What a cool cat. The Magpies are still there. 15-8, 98. Norwood is 16-16. 112, only 14 points. Absolutely nothing in a game like this. McIntosh, quick hands. Robertson, too high on Rowe. Play on. Geneva, pack tackle. Burns caught. Hodges to ground. He was holding the ball. He's got it too.
Gee, he was a bit unlucky earlier, Rowe.
Pretty hard.
Rowe had a chance.
Hodges now. Smith at the back. Big jump. Tyler. Chance for Collins. Brown first to it. Tap. He needs help. There's none there. Gets it out though. Beautifully done. Collins high. Smith misses it. Misjudged it. I think he lost it in the sun, to be fair to him. A chance for Shane. Bond, can he do it? The impossible, he can't. Out the full. Got to tingle up the spine there for him, but it's just a smidge.
He'd probably be disappointed he missed it.
Oh, what a talent though he is.
He is. So, I wonder about Scott Hodges, you know, at half forward. I mentioned through the third term, if someone's going to win the game for them, it's going to be him. Suggest the best spot for him is at full forward to do that.
Northeast paddles it out. Now Geneva received it from Borlaze, and Geneva with a long bomb at the back as Tyler couldn't quite control it. Now there's a free kick. It's going against Port Adelaide. It'll go to Scotty Burns. No, it won't. It'll go to Robin, who's done very well. He's at full-back at the moment, looking for someone at half-back. His ruckman Thompson was there. Well done by Kelly. Now he's done okay in that situation. He actually didn't take the hand pass, and he's been given a free kick for holding on.
Just to take that a little further about Hodges versus Tyler at full forward. Darren Smith is actually playing there now, but just got the feeling that Tyler is not quite on song at the moment, and that Hodges may be better down there.
Here's the switch. Tubes on the far side, gets away from Cockatoo Collins. Now Eames, who runs through midfield. Long kick to left half forward. Rosonico will wrap this up and does very well.
The crowd on 50. Not so. Port Adelaide fans angry. Off they go though. Delaney this is. Underneath it, Hodges puts it down. The crumbs. Away goes Scott Burns. Pushes it over half forward. Up they go. Ducker to ground. The crummer. Geneva beautifully spoiled by Smart. Geneva works hard. It's been a tiger today for them. Gets it over the top of Ducker. He wanted Rosonico. Rowan Smith is there. Ducker goes inside. Eames dodges, weaves. He's in traffic. Smart. Caught. Patterson. Now he's got some space. Has a look. Can he kick a goal from 45? It's going to be very, very close. Oh, what a great goal. He's second. The Redlegs at 17-16. 118. The Maggies at 98. What a game.
He has such great poise, doesn't he? Lifted the eyes, saw that the opportunity was there. He ran in. Phillips was coming at him like a train. And whereas he missed one earlier in the game throughout the second term, I think it was, when Delaney came across his leg, this time made no mistake. Nailed his second. Norwood, some breathing space. It's back out to 20 points.
The response by Norwood has been quite special. Can Port Adelaide fight back again? Just 20 points in it. Rowe ran onto the bouncing ball. A chance now for Lyle. The brilliant Lyle kicks toward full forward. Toombs has to back himself. Smith gives it off to Shea Cockatoo Collins. Back to Darren Smith. Oh, he wasn't sure whether to hand pass or kick. He eventually goes for the kick, and he has missed everything. He's gone out of bounds on the full.
Plenty of pressure from the Redlegs. Got numbers there. Attack the body. Force the error. The spills with Rowan Smith. They need him. Hodges inside if he can get it there. Lyle's there. Hodges from 50. Bangs away, but he too is way, way offline.
I really believe they've got to get Hodges back to full forward. Send Smith back out to his more familiar position at centre half forward where he creates. He knows the position. He knows what's required. Let the experienced attacking man lift his game for himself, but for goodness sake, get him there where it's familiar for him and put Hodges back up forward where he can win the game for you.
I get Tyler off the ground as well. He hasn't kicked a goal for 2 weeks. He doesn't even look like it. They're losing the ball Norwood through the centre. I'd even put Chalmers maybe at full forward or centre half forward and get Scotty back there. I agree with you, Stephen. Lyle, Ginniver gives it up. They try and work it out. Ball lays, hands and knees. Finally, Northeast to tie. Toombs is there. He should take this. No, he doesn't. And 1 point. I just feel maybe Chalmers could give them something in the forward line, maybe get Mead on the ball. But Tyler just doesn't even look like kicking a goal or getting a touch for that matter.
I entirely agree. This is a very critical part of play. Port Adelaide have peppered the goals. Now, if they can't get a return for their entries, they'll have a real problem here because Norwood will survive otherwise.
This is a real Bobby Dazzler. Prelim final, well and truly into the last quarter. Tanner's kick out wide. Now Smart, who's getting a couple of valuable touches. Eames on centre wing, kicks inside 50. Ducker down there being manhandled. A chance now for Troy Bond to clear the danger zone, and that's exactly what he does. He was looking for Shea Cockatoo Collins or even Tim Ginniver. Big chance down there for his brother, though. It's Shane Bond. He's caught. And the umpire will ball it up inside the attacking 50 for the Magpies.
He's had his hands full today, has Scott Burns, number 21 for Norwood. He's had Shane Bond for much of the outing. Had Troy for a little while as well. It's not an easy job when those two players have such explosive pace.
11 minutes in, 20 points the margin. The Redlegs have got the lead at the moment. James, wide to Pitt, best on ground. Lost the footy. Masses of players. A little bit of luck with Spill maybe. Tyler, ball lays. High into the pocket. Smith underneath it. He's well checked by Toombs. He had no chance for that. Toombs in the box seat, and he did well to push it over the line.
Where's David Brown been for the last 45, 50 minutes of this game? He started explosively, didn't he? Seen hide nor hear of him since perhaps the end of the first term.
Norwood 118, the Magpies 99. 19 points this margin. Time running out. Pitt, have a look at that, to touch. Out.
Foster looking a little dejected there, Mark, and it's not really the case. It shouldn't be. 20 points. It's only 2.5 minutes of football, and they've got at least 15 minutes left.
Hodges in front row. Oh, he got off the ground there a metre or so. A lot of players around the football. Eventually Kelly clears away from that pack. Up goes Mead. Good mark. Well done by Mead. Then a chip inside 50. The ball bounces. Smith tried to half volley it somehow with his legs. Didn't want to bend the back, and now Tubes. That hand pass by his teammate was magnificent. Short kick. Looking down there for Ducker, the full forward of the forward pocket. McIntosh on hands and knees. Magnificent. Rosonico was very special then on Patterson. A chance again. This is Eames. Short chip pass. Outstorm the forwards. Here's Ducker, and here's danger signs as Smart has a shot, and Smart has made a hero of himself late. Wonderful goal. They're still not home, but it's his second, and it's Norwood's 18-16. Port Adelaide 15-9.
They may not be home, but they look very, very confident. Their defence has stood firm. It's been resolute in this, the last term. They were under enormous pressure in the first term, and we feared that they'd capitulate. Through the second and third terms, they were not only strong and resolute, but they were attacking, and they really set up many good plays from back there. Now in the last, perhaps 10 minutes, that is the first 10 minutes of this term, they've been under enormous pressure. They've held up well. John Cale is certain to be concerned.
There's the scoreline. It's the Redlegs by 18-16 to 15-9. McIntosh working hard through the centre. The body work won't stop now. The Magpies will have a last ditch, I guarantee you that. And Rowe over the line. So Norwood, the centre breaks well in their favour, still by 8. I know I'm making a lot of it, but therein lies the story to their quick forwards. Braden Lyle, Chalmers, Court, Thompson, a ball up surely on the far side of the ground. And 14-20 gone. Final quarter, prelim final, Football Park.
Norwood are 18-16. The Magpies 15-9. Hodges. Long, long way out from half forward. Long kick, inside 50. Tyler, almost. Burns, Toombs. They did not panic there, Norwood. Eventually it's the skipper. Oh, you've got to get rid of it, Gary. You got caught. You didn't hear them. Oh, that's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Gary McIntosh did not hear the pitter-patter, and Bond was the man who dragged him down.
him, but he's telling the umpire that he handballed the ball away. But he's been caught fair and square, run down beautifully by Shane Bond. He's too far out to score. He needs to give off Smith. So they need a big man in the square. Smith is gone. Tyler's there. Ginnivan from behind. And a rush point. So he needed to give the ball to a leading forward, but it just wasn't anything obvious.
Richard Kelly there, and the Norwood fans a little anxious. Richard Kelly played his 50th game last week. It was a very aggressive sport. He's had 15 and 8 today. Been a very elusive centreman and defender.
Here's Rowe from half-back. He was uploaded after he got rid of it. Went past Burns. Now a chance for Foster. Gave it across to Lyle at left half forward. Long kick. Rowan Smith had it knocked away by Tanner. Good work. Now Robert. Oh, he was going to give it to Macca. He decided, though, to kick it long to the far side. Eames and Cockatoo Collins. Cockatoo Collins is very clever. He did that particularly well. Borlays needs to give it off. They're under enormous pressure, Port Adelaide. If anything, Norwood are moving the ball forward. Here's Pitt, very intelligent young man, and it's out of bounds. You gained about 25 metres. 18-16 Norwood, they're 124. The Magpies 15-10, 100. 16 minutes, Stephen, last quarter.
Be a very brave person to say in front of 25,311 people. A terrific crowd in for the preliminary final. That Port Adelaide are gone. I'll stick my hand up, though. I don't think they can get back from here.
Yeah, you won't get any of my money just yet. I'll sit on the fence a bit longer. McIntosh has got control at the moment. He just decides to push it in deep, keep the pressure on the Magpies. Phillips couldn't make the distance. Thompson to ground. Ducker, they're in numbers, the Redlegs. Have a look at them. They've got 40 players on the ground. Patterson goes to go. He might have done it again. Offline.
Gee, they were everywhere, weren't they?
Numbers galore, and they're working hard. They sense a grand final victory, and they'll be awfully hard to stop from here.
John Cale will be disappointed with a couple of his veterans. Rowan Smith has just come off of the ground. Stephen Williams is coming back on. See Rowan there. He's had a very quiet day. So too has Stephen Williams. So probably a little academic at the moment as Lyle takes it at half-back.
Yes, Troy Bond was the man who kicked it to him. Here's Robinson, wraps it up, and then hits the ground running. Have a look at him go. Oh, just as you give them a rap. He's got out of this, or has he? No, I don't think he has. He just tried to do too much. And umpire Tim Pfeiffer comes across and will ball it up. They had another chance there, a golden opportunity, Stephen, to head for home.
Certainly did. 5 goals required by Port Adelaide, which would account for the 25 points difference. Not only are they looking in trouble when they get down inside that full forward area, but they really aren't getting it down there enough times either at the moment.
So a great crowd. 25,311 people have seen the preliminary final here today in Adelaide. And Stephen Rose exciting them all again, or at least half of them, as he tears towards goal. Ducker can't take it. Delaney's there. A quick handball. Misses Mead. O'Brien. Damaging play today. Ginnivan, beautifully done to Northeast. He's been their best, Ginnivan. Through the centre they go. And Smith is good. Borlay's got it to him. And Smith is on 50.
Norwood have got numbers down there. Smith is really has no option other than to go to goal at the moment. The further this game, the more it has gone, the better Norwood have become at working back in numbers.
2 goal, 2, 3 goal, 2 Darren Smith, or has he hit the post? Oh, dear me. And a Magpie, a youngster, seeing what you don't normally see, young man, a Magpie team down in a preliminary final. They're 101, the Magpies. Norwood are 125 points.
Short kick by Robran, finds David Burns. Away he goes, awkward kick. Chalmers should wrap it up, and does. His opposing ruckman standing the mark, Thompson. Midfield is Chalmers. There he goes, a mighty kick. He got about 55, 60. Look out for Hodges down there. Tyler as well. The two-pronged attack just struggling a little as Robran gives it to his skipper McIntosh, and this time the champ just sits and waits. Left footer out very wide. Good kick to Thompson. Chalmers with him. It's out of bounds. A score check. Norwood are 18-17, 125. The Magpies are 15-11, 101. You're watching this on ABC Sport. The attendance is 25,311.
It's great crowd, as we've said. Collins kicks it forward. McIntosh is there. Very low to ground he plays. Ginnivan can't quite pick it up. The Magpies will suffer the desperation of Norwood now, because they know that all they have to do is play some time out and the arithmetic just can't add up for Port Adelaide.
We've seen Norwood do it several times throughout the year, where they've had their noses in front and they've just had to play for time, as you say. And it's none better than McIntosh. I don't know where that leg came from towards the line, but it's just the ticket at the moment. Over the line, out of the full. No. 20 minutes. Neil Craig. And he's issuing instructions to his runner. So plenty of action on the Norwood bench still, even though they're 25 points ahead. What he was saying was just keep the pressure on, keep the pressure on. Go to Rowe, go to McIntosh, and keep the pressure on them. He's very, very demanding about it at the moment. From our point, easy to be relaxed about it. Looks like they've got it. Craig still looks a worried man and not certain about the outcome. No, and the reason he's saying go to Rowe and go to McIntosh might not be obvious to everyone, but they are great competitors and they certainly won't give up the footy, and they'll hold it in an area, or they'll do the percentage thing, or at least they'll win it and give it off. Now, if Port Adelaide do go down here, as we look again at Neil Craig and the anxiety in the Norwood box, if Port Adelaide do go down here, it's an amazing turnaround, isn't it, from a side that was so dominant in the competition until, say, 3/4 of the way through the year. Yes, they got knocked off in the last minor round game by the Eagles, who finished top, but they were second with 15 and 5, and the Norwood side fourth with 12 and 8.
I just might very quickly mention that the grand final next Saturday will be live in Jakarta at 11:30 a.m. and live in Hong Kong at 12:30 p.m. So that's around lunchtime, and of course live in Southeast Asia. That's the grand final next week. It'll be live right around Australia, but depending on ticket sales, we won't know whether it will be live in South Australia until later on in the week. Smith is unloaded magnificently. Bond in trouble as well. Robinson working his heart out, and eventually there'll be a ball up. Now, some people are starting to leave the stadium. I just wonder whether they're Port Adelaide fans or whether they're Norwood fans. There's the Port bench. Well, they must have some concerns now. It's 18-17, 125 Norwood. Port at 15-11, 101. 22 minutes gone, last quarter.
Brown, chip short, Boulais has got it. And hits the deck, but he's got a shot at goal. 13 kicks, 7 handballs. He's kicked 1 goal. So he's been busy.
Still time, Neville.
Oh, there's still time. We've had long quarters. We've had up to 33 in this match, and there was only 22-minute mark. They could easily get back in this. Boulais from 40 metres, not quite. Norwood will knock it through. They've had their chances to in front of goals, haven't they, with Smith missing quite a few, and this time Boulais not making the distance, and Tyler just being goalless.
Jonathan Robran drafted to the Hawks, giving himself plenty of time to decide just where he's going to place this one. Thompson into the air, couldn't control it. He got very high. He's a very tall player. Now, there's Stephen Pitt, I think it is, 28. He's just twirled around. He's got the football. He's not keen to let it go, but he's got to give it back. And Tim Pfeiffer and Richard Williams, the 2 umpires officiating here today. Darren Smith to Boulais to Ginniver. Through a number of players' legs. Now a chance for James. Spins up toward centre wing. O'Brien knocks it cleverly away. A whole lot of Port Adelaide players there. Chalmers was one of them. Gave it to another big man, and that is Mead. Looking for Cockatoo. Collins. Oh, he might end up with it. No, Williams has got it. He's in all sorts of trouble, Stephen Williams. They've still got a chance to score here. Cockatoo Collins has scored late in the game. Wonderful goal, his second.
It's a run-down Port Adelaide train that they just will not lay down. And they're not about to do it today either. Stephen Williams worked very hard. Almost could have gone for holding the ball there. Good vision, though, by the player there in Shane Bond. Norwood have made another change. Thompson has come off, and Craig Baum, fresh again, has gone back on. And if Baum can have his say in this, lift Norwood in the centre square area. Plenty of voice from him, and plenty of physical presence as well.
17 points separates the 2 sides. That's 3 straight kicks. We're 50 seconds from time on. There should be about 5 or 7 minutes in that range. There's enough time. Norwood feel the pressure. They'll lift the heat again now. And Rowe goes to ground, holding on to the footy. So they'll try and waste a bit of time. They'll try and play wide. They'll play towards the boundary line.
And Foster injury, by the looks, a hand. He's been a very, very good player for Port Adelaide today. They can ill afford to lose him at the moment. Porter put Hodges back to full forward and Smith out the centre-half forward.
Eames sends the red legs in. Mead's underneath. He brings the ball to ground. It doesn't sit for O'Brien, but he gets it back. Puts it in high. Delaney. Prime together. Delaney this time. He'll switch the play. He's got Rowan Smith. That's the way it'll come. David Burns with him. He needs a sit, Smith. He's clever. Let's watch him. Can he do it? He does. Oh, the runner got away from McIntosh Northeast this time. Now Brown. Gee, they need him to fire. Smith, it's high. He'll probably take this from behind and does. So he's 50 again. Outside his leg. He needs someone short. The Port Adelaide bench believe they can win. Don't make any mistake about that. Smith, can you kick it, Darren, from 50? They'd love you to at Port Adelaide. It's going very close. Oh, he's hit the post. He looks to the sky for help. You're on your own, son.
Well, that might just be the critical kick of the game, and a couple of inches either way could have, in that one instance, dictated the outcome of this game.
With it is Balm. Goes long, centre wing. That might have just been the let-off. Norwood need to stop any sort of return. Got to be a free kick to Collins. 25, nearly 26 minutes. 1 minute of time on, and Eames is in strife. Collins in the back on Eames, or Eames in the back of Collins. I'll go forward. They still need 3 goals. Have to get one in this play. They're not. Rowe clears the ball. You can understand why Craig wants him to be around the footy. Patterson's got it, and Bond's got him to the line. And Cale, that sinking feeling, the blood draining from the face. It's going to be hard from here, he says. No time and too many goals needed.
There's only been 6 goals scored in this term, so it might amount to perhaps 4 minutes of time on, just at a guess, so it's going to make it very tight for Port Adelaide from here.
Timely mark by Scotty Burns. At 8 kicks. This is a good one too. Looking for Pitt. Now, he's been a match winner, this young man. Hasn't he been something special? Far side of the ground. Short chip passes on.
Macca won't waste much time either.
No, he's taking a while. He might well do so as well.
It's another leadership role from him, though, isn't it? 14 and 13 today. And more than that, his voice is always very good. His leadership second to none.
Good kick by McIntosh up in front. There was Prime, tries to get the hand pass. Now, that was very clever because he waited and waited. And now Patterson, and he's looking for Balm. Oh, the 30-year-old's got it. He can wrap this up.
Well, it's a fairy tale for Craig Balm, maybe, to have the last shot at goal for the Red Leagues to get him into a grand final.
Played in one in 1984. Neville will be his last one, but in fact, I think it was his first year of league football.
Indeed, first year over, and got a flag. The Red League scraped into the finals and won it from 5th.
In the meantime, he's been a pretty good contributor, hasn't he? He's amassed 224 games, and he's been rock solid.
You can wrap it up, Craig. I think you've done just that. Bang, straight through. The Redlegs 19-17, 125. The Magpies 16-13, 109. And the Redlegs now looking at a grand final fair and square in the face.
Well, he would have loved that, no doubt about it. And the reason that it came about was that instead of sitting on the back play, a kick and a half behind the play, Balm was actually picking up Chalmers, who was on the Port Adelaide back play. And when the kick came around the body very quickly, Balmy was there in the right spot, able to turn around and nail Norwood's 19th.
So, 16-13, 109. Norwood at 19-17, 131. Balm and ruck. Chalmers, though. The Norwood crowd sends it. Smith. He's got it at half forward. Punches it in long. He wants Hodges. And the champion full forward, unable to control it. 22-point margin. And the arithmetic no longer adds up for Port Adelaide. An Eagles Red League Grand Final. Neil Craig hasn't relaxed yet. He won't until the siren goes, and even then he'll start thinking about next week. James makes the play and will get the short from Robran. So the Redlegs will just control the footy now. They won't be doing anything too adventurous with it, I guarantee you. Just a long kick along the line, over half-back. Smith is underneath it. The big punch from Pitt, predictably towards the line.
Invariably, when a side bows out, look at the ankle heavily strapped there. That ankle belongs to a player in Ben Modra, so that's the reason that he left the ground earlier. Questions are invariably raised at this time. When a side bows out about their veterans, I wonder if we've seen the last of Greg Phillips at Port Adelaide in terms of a playing role.
21 points. James out wide. Chance now for David Burns. Just waits and waits. Then gives it to Craig Balm, the veteran, who bangs it long, looking for either Prime or Ducker. Here's a very good player. He takes a bounce. This is Patterson. Patterson from 35 metres. Put down your glasses. It is all The Magpies 16-14, 110.
There's Patterson's third. He just fumbled at the critical time. It took the bounce and it didn't quite come back to him, but he still had the presence. And mind you, a fair touch of class as well to get it around the body and score that third goal for himself. Well, Port Adelaide, who would have thought that they'd be bundled out of the finals in two like this? They've really done it tough. Norwood through to the grand final.
27-point margin. He won't forget that goal, Stephen Patterson, in a long time. It's pretty special. Rowan Smith, they haven't given up. Ball A's. A long one underneath it. Burns can't control it as the siren. And the Redlegs into the grand final. Their first since '84, and they did it over traditional rivals, Port Adelaide. Norwood at 2017, 137. Port Adelaide 16-14, 110. A 27-point margin. And Neil Craig, his first grand final, his third year as coach.
Yes, what a surprise. Port Adelaide banished from the finals race. Macca looks on and we raised the question about the man who just put his arm around there in Greg Phillips. Wonder whether he's played his last. Macca is into another grand final. He played in the one at 84 as well and would be loving this next week, a grand final week that Norwood play the Eagles.
So let's check the final scores as we have a look at a very disappointed Greg Phillips. Norwood 2017, 137, have won the prelim final and will now play the Eagles in the grand final. They defeated Port today, 16-14, 110. You've been watching this thrilling encounter on ABC Sport.
They are the lords of the City of London. Now they're accused of fleecing billions from their clients.
There are 100 syndicates in Lloyd's that I would resign from Lloyd's rather than be on their syndicates.
Thousands are ruined around the world.
Financially, it's absolutely disastrous. I was not, in hindsight, given the information I should have been given.
Any future I've got is just screwed up with Lloyd's.
Inside Lloyd's, the financial scandal of the decade. Four Corners, 8:30 Monday.
Norwood through to the grand final next week after a terrific performance in today's preliminary final. They won the match 2017, 137 to Port Adelaide 16-14, 110.
And a 34-point turnaround in that second quarter. Prime kick 4, Rowe and Patterson 3 each. And for Port Adelaide, Hodges 5, Smith and Collins 3 each. And after the game, Stephen Trigg caught up with a delighted Norwood veteran.
Norwood veteran Craig Baum, not a bad way to celebrate 10 years in league footy.
Yeah, it's I started off with a flag and hopefully with a bit of hard work I'll finish with one.
Well, tell me how you feel about it.
Yeah, pretty happy. Very happy with the way the boys went, but we've got a big game next week, so we're keeping our feet on the ground.
It's a big game. I've got a few suspicions about what Craigie might have said after the game. Just tell us what he did say to the troops.
Oh, just very similar to what I just said, that, you know, we have done well, but we're not going to respond to the back slappers. We've still got a game to win next week.
There are plenty of young guys around. How do you actually keep the feet on the ground like that? Because some will invariably think that the job's been done in getting there. What do you think needs to be done this week just to make sure that they don't sort of get those feet off of the ground?
Absolutely nothing different to what we have been doing. We've been just steady and focused all week. I know it's an overused word, but we have just doing what we're paid to do.
And let's go back to today just for one brief moment. It must have been a fair bit of pleasure in not only getting into the grand final, but knocking off the old foe as well.
They're a great opponent, Port Adelaide, and we always look forward to playing them. And we're very happy that we're there instead of them.
Well, Barmy, your contribution was first class. Good luck next week. Wish the Redlegs all the best.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, mate.
Stephen Trigg speaking there with Craig Baum. A delighted man, kicked the winning goal, I thought, anyway.
Well, he at least sealed it and put it out of reach, but Norwood had some very good players, the best of which I thought was Stephen Petty, was magnificent in the forward line, Rowe, McIntosh, Patterson, but for Port Adelaide, not a lot. I thought Ginniver worked hard, and Hodges and Darren Smith, but they just didn't have enough on the day.
A wonderful win there by Norwood. Can they go on and win the grand final?
Oh, well, it's all equal on the day, and the Eagles are in the box seat. They've had a rest, but it'll be very hard for Norwood, but, gee, I wouldn't be putting any money... I wouldn't be laying any money out. It's an even money bet.
And you've got plenty of it too, haven't you?
Oh, that'd be right.
Then, well, thank you very much for your company. Just a very quick reminder, the grand final next week live in Southeast Asia and right around the country. A live coverage in South Australia will depend on ticket sales. That's our program. We hope you've enjoyed it. Until next week, bye for now.